Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We are live here for night number 1 of the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling, presented by Team VLR, live here on the TeamVLR.com Facebook page. My name is Tommy Rowe, up in the booth, going to be joined by the voice of the Cop Camp Super Dirt Series, Mr. Wes Gwaltney. Wes, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great, man. It's an honor to be back up here in the booth for such a big event. It just continues to get bigger and bigger each year. $7,000 on the line for this event. Of course, it's prelim night tonight to see who's going to lock their way in. We'll take the top 12 from tonight's feature event from Server 1 and Server 2. Honor to be back up here with you as well. I think we got a pretty good one on hand.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show here tonight. We are in prelim night here tonight. Going to have the first of 2 servers getting ready to come your way. We'll narrow our first server number 1 down to 12 drivers, and we'll lock in 12 more from server number 2 to give us our 24-car starting field for tomorrow night, or Wednesday night's 100 laps, $7,000 to win. Main event with the Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling, 18th annual. Pretty big deal here at Team VLR. It's called the Spring Fling. We know it's August, and it's probably about the hottest day I've ever, of the year. Here in the month of August down here in the state of Mississippi, but still known as the Spring Fling. Just took a little bit longer of a time to get everything organized and everyone's schedule in the right direction to get this show underway. But there you see the format on your screen tonight. Going to have 5 heat races, 8 laps to distance. Top 4 going to advance from that. Everybody else will make their way up to the alphabet soup. We'll have the D main, 10 laps to distance. Top 4 going to advance to the C main, and top 4 from the C to the B, and then the top 4 from the B to the A, where we'll set our 12 drivers for our 24-car starting field in Wednesday night's main event. And we should be getting ready to roll over to qualifying coming up here very, very shortly. And Wes, what are you expecting here in qualifying?
One of those deals, if you got to be in the right place at the right time, it kind of sets the precedent for everything else going on in the evening. If you qualify bad, these field of cars are so strong from top to bottom that if you're buried, you're not going to have a chance. You may be able to pass 1 or 2 cars in a heat race, but then you're going to have to run the alphabet soup, and we know what can happen in those hooligan races. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Watching a little bit how they were doing the track in warm-up. Steve's got them running all over the place, burned up the top a little bit, burned up the middle, so the bottom looks pretty good right now, but it's one of those places, those Ute tires, they can jump out and get you if it is around the bottom, or if it's around the top, you touch the spooler against the wall, your time is disallowed. So a lot of things can happen. You got to be so precise, but at the same time, you got to be trying to put down the best lap possible to set yourself up for the rest of the evening.
And qualifying going to be so important here because, and from start to finish, you want to put yourself in a good starting spot for one of these heat races to try to get yourself into the first A main event here tonight, to try to get into one of those top 12 starting spots. And it's just so tough. One of the toughest events in all of iRacing, especially on the dirt side, just to make the A main.
Absolutely. I mean, you load an in-league race, and you're going to have a couple heavy hitters, or some of the bigger leagues on iRacing, like, iRacing Champions League. You're going to see a couple of these guys. You're going to see all 120 of the best names on iRacing on here at this server and the next server. The Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling is the race when it comes to dirt. It shows why VLR is the name for putting these things on. They get great sponsors every year. The payout gets bigger and bigger. And sometimes we have some big names that stick their way out, like Joey Lingron, the defending winner of this event. Who would have thought we'd be talking about him winning $6,000 in last year's Spring Fling, and now he is heading into this year looking to become the first back-to-back winner in quite some time. And we got a lot of heavy names that, if they have tough luck in a prelim, they may find themselves buried and not make their way into the 100-lap feature.
Yeah, just looking through this server number 1 right now, you've got Lingron, the defending Spring Fling champion. Blake Matjoulis, he's won a few of these as well. Kendall Tucker's here in the field with us. Robbie Buckingham is back with us. Good to see him back. Just a great field of drivers. James Braswell, Aiden Berlin, Chase Hardy in the field with us. That's a couple of names you recognize in years past. And, we'll see some names that we've maybe not called so much through the field. As it'll be interesting. 120 drivers. Everyone put up the money, and it's just about go time here at Charlotte. Dirt track at Charlotte. It's been a very popular racetrack with Team VLR. It's given us a lot of great races in the past.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a very tough track too. I mean, the lines change a ton. It gets really slick in a hurry, and there's some people that are they can just run the top side better than others, and some can just go low and slow around the Ute tire. So it's a very technical racetrack, especially because it has a lot of holes to it sometimes too. It's kind of a rougher racetrack on occasion, depending on how it generates. And then you get to sometimes it has a big cushion. Sometimes you're leaning on pretty much nothing, and you're sitting there spinning, trying to keep your car from getting in the fence. And with the damage model changes they've made, the tire model, of course, which we'll talk about throughout the feature in this one, and then of course the big feature on Wednesday night. It's all about keeping your tires under you. So it's going to be interesting how those things play out. Qualifying is about to get underway. You mentioned some of those names we might not have talked about previously. Rylee Knoll, he was very impressive in the race to the Fling at Lernerville the other night. Led pretty early on in that race. Didn't end up with the victory. Keep an eye on him as the Lake Michigan driver and Speed Ranch Setups number 7 or 07 machine, going to be one to watch. And there's a lot of big names. Scott Fritz, who had some really tough luck last year, he'll look to rebound. The Leonardtown, Maryland driver, and his Matjoulis, Seay, number 48. And then, of course, the big names you already mentioned. And you never know who the surprises are going to be in each field.
And we're rolling over to qualifying right now. Going to be a very quick session for qualifying. These drivers going to have 2 minutes to set down their best lap time. Going to have 2 laps around the speedway to try to set quick time in tonight's qualifying session as it is underway right now. There you see a couple of drivers on your screen already. There's Caleb Boykin in the 71 car rolling around the speedway. There you're watching on your screen via RaceSpot live here on the TeamBLR.com Facebook page. Hey, Wes, we already got 208 people watching the live stream right now. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's see if we can't get that to 500 before the night's over with.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the people turn out for this. We get the early laps in and qualifying. Craig Swartz throwing down the early mark to beat a 14.763. Those big names already right there at the top. Damian Kiefer second, Nathan Waddell third, Blake Matjoulis, Ethan Johnson, Kendall Tucker. There's Robbie Buchanan Jr. moving into the 5th spot.
Yeah, Craig Swartz, 14.763, the time to beat right now. Damian Kiefer, the Keef speed, 14.797. Currently second, Nathan Waddell. And the Plum Wild podcast. And the Plum Wild number 5 back in action here tonight. Already third in qualifying. And Blake Matjoulis, Robbie, Scott Fritz up to the top 5 as they're rolling around. Just about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Joey Lingron, your defending winner of this event, is just right now barely inside the top 10. His second lap better, though. Belzy Mount moves up to 4th on the board. Brady Thompson, that's a driver who's made a couple VLR races, including the Gomper 100 back in January and qualified for the Spring Fling a couple years ago. Thompson third quick, so that's good to see from him. You do have a couple names now going to be buried. Kendall Tucker was no better on lap number 2. Matthew Watts. Looking at Nick Baum. Nick Baum's going to have his work cut out for him. He's mid-pack. James Braswell Jr. Expected a lot from him. He had a tough qualifying run as well.
Well, here we go. Heat race number 1 is set. Craig Swartz going to set quick time here for server number 1. And he'll lead the field to the green here in heat race number 1. To his outside, the 127 former VLR Spring Fling winner. That'll be Blake Matjoulis. Desmond Busby, Ethan Stuckwish make up inside, outside row number 2. Will Cuddy, Colton Jordan at row number 3. There's James Seawright, Tanner Tomasi, row number 4. Justin Pennington, Aaron McGee at row number 5, and your 6th and final row heat race number 1 will be Gavin Gravitt and Chase Hardy. Going to round out the field in 12th. So
yeah, Tanner Tomasi, another big name, going to be buried here in this first heat race. Keep an eye on him. Only taking the top 4 to tonight's feature event. Everybody else heading to the alphabet soup.
So it's going to be very interesting here in heat race number 1. The field's getting ready to roll. It'll be Craig Swartz, Blake Matjoulis. Hey, Wes, what are you looking for here in heat race number 1? How do you expect the track to roll out?
Going to be interesting to see who kind of moves around a little bit. Of course, when you set quick time, Craig Swartz going to have control of the field. He can kind of set the early pace out front. He's going to look to try to check out as much as possible. But that middle, that's a hornet's nest every single time. So I'm interested to see how the track has changed out. It's very slick through the middle of the racetrack right now, but it does look like there's quite a bit of grip up top, quite a bit of grip on the bottom. And it's all about hitting the line perfectly and being in the right place at the right time. Because if somebody checks up, you can end up going from a transfer spot to the back of the pack.
Heat race number 1 of 5 gridding up right now. Once again, the top 4 will transfer only 8 laps. So going to be a very quick pace here around the dirt track at Charlotte. Pace them around 1 or 2 times before we drop the green flag. Craig Swartz, Blake Matjoulis. Desmond Busby, Ethan Stuckwish. Very, very interesting. First of 5 heat races coming your way. Server number 1. We have 60 more drivers coming up after this one. We've got 246 watching on the live stream already. Appreciate you tuning in. As we get ready to go, heat race number 1. We'll pace them around 1 more time.
this is one of those tracks where you can get spaced out pretty quickly, and with only 8 laps, I mean, you're watching somebody get 5-6 tenths ahead of you. It's really hard to track them down with, especially all these guys being very similar speed wise. So it's all going to be about getting an early jump, getting as many positions as you can on these starts and restarts. Restarts, of course, they're one of the big question marks, because anything can happen, especially during iRacing.
So we got a few Robbie Buckingham fans in the chat watching right now, as we pace them down into turn number 3 and 4. Craig Swartz, Blake Matjoulis coming to the green. Heat race number 1. We are underway.
Swartz going to take us in turns 1 and 2. Already got a battle there for second as Busby, a former prelim winner, looks for the second spot from a 2-time winner and Blake Matjoulis of this event, and a battle for the transfer spot. That's what we're going to keep our eye on this whole heat race, as Stuckwish right there in the mix with Cuddy and Colton Jordan. And things are about to get interesting. 1 lap in the book, 7 to go.
Yeah, Colton Jordan in the 83 cars put himself to position number 5. They're 3 wide right behind him. Tanner Tomas in the 09 trying to work his way through the field, with Will Cuddy directly in front of him. Goes side by side for position number 6. 2 spots out of a transfer right now, as Colton Jordan, the 83 car, holding it down but goes high. And now Tomasi putting the pressure on.
Yeah, Tomasi going to try to march his way through the field. He's a starter in the Spring Fling on multiple occasions. Racetrack pretty well in the middle of the speedway, at least for your top 4. But now we got a battle for that 5th spot. Going to put you in a better spot to be a little, hey, how you doing? Keep it moving down the back straightaway.
Ethan Stuckwich, he's fallen back to position number 4, holding it down right now. Tomasi with a slider over Colton Jordan, coming down to complete another lap. 5 down, 3 to go here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Craig Swartz out in front.
Runs second. Matjoulis started second, runs third. He's a second back from your leader, and Craig Swartz continues to stretch it out, but things about to tighten up a little bit. Stuckwish has got company.
And here comes Tanner Tomasi, the 09 car, gassing it up once again. Take a peek to the inside at a turn number 4. Doesn't quite have the run. 2 more trips around here in heat race number 1. Can the 09 Tanner Tomasi find a way around the 35 of Ethan Stuckwish? White flag will be out this time.
Stuckwish has turned up the wick a little bit as well. He's closed on Blake Matjoulis and trying to get that 3rd spot away from him. He doesn't want to be the setting duck with the white flag in the air. Final lap around Craig Swartz, looking to lead him off.
Down the back straightaway one final time into turn number 3 and 4. Craig Swartz, he'll lead the field to the green at prelim server number 1. The A-main, Desmond Busby 2nd, Blake Matjoulis 3rd, and Ethan Stuckwish going to pick up the 4th and final transfer.
So an interesting first heat in the books. Your 4 transfers. Craig Swartz picks up the victory. He'll roll off in the pole position in tonight's prelim number 1 feature event. Desmond Busby will look for his 2nd prelim feature victory, as he'll roll off from position number 6. Blake Matjoulis, Ethan Stuckwish joining the starting lineup as well. Tomasi heads to the B with Colton Jordan, Willie Cuddy, Seay, McGee, Gravitt going to head through the alphabet soup.
Yeah, not a lot of drama there in heat race number 1. Really good racing through the middle of the field, and really good to see there.
Absolutely. As we head into heat race number 2, and this is going to be a good one. Got a lot of big names in this one as well. As Damian Kiefer will roll off in the pole position. The D keeps speed. Number 43 to his outside. Scott Fritz out of Maryland. Rylee Knoll, who led a lot of the race to the Fling, will start inside row number 2, flanked by Tyler Wood. Those will be your transfer starting cars. James Braswell Jr. will start inside row number 3, flanked by Tucker Elkins to his outside. Row number 4, Aaron Bowman going to have to come from a little deep in the field, flanked by Chase Copeland to his outside. Caleb Boyd can roll off from position number 9. Aiden Berlin in position number 10. Tyler Bowman and Cray Wheeler back there in row number 6. And rounding out the field, man, this is another good field. 12 cars going 8 laps in heat race number 2.
Yeah, a couple of Spring Fling veterans on the front row. Damian Kiefer and the 43 car. Scott Fritz to the outside. Tyler Wood, Rylee Knoll, as you mentioned earlier on here tonight, had a great run. The race for the Fling just a couple of nights ago. Looking for a little bit of redemption. Didn't quite have the finish he wanted the other night, leading a few laps of that main event.
Yeah, as this track, I mean, it's very known for its tire wear, so that's going to be something we're going to have to talk about when we get to the feature. Of course, in the A-lap heat races, you're pretty much running about as much air pressure, especially in the right rear, usually in that 12 to 14 range based on how you feel comfortable in them. But it's going to be interesting to see kind of who goes and who comes in the feature event, as this one's going to go green next time by.
Wes, I think after this past weekend, you should be a master at the tire game.
I'll tell you this, my tires, my legs are all worn out after all the tires.
There's a lot of pit stops on Saturday night, that's for sure. But nonetheless, heat racing number 2 for the Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling server number 1. Scott Fritz, Damian Kiefer, row number 1. Green flag is out, and here we go.
We saw the inside of row number 2 get a good jump, then just like in heat race number 1, as Rylee Knoll jumps out to second. Oh no, Scott Fritz, the bad luck continues. He'll take a hard lick to the outside wall in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, makes it in turn number 1 and 2, then taps the wall, and around he goes, and the caution will immediately come out here in heat race number 2. Tough break for the 48 car, getting it 3 wide right there. May have had a little help from the 15, but tough break for Scott Fritz in the 48 car.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. Fritz has always had a lot of speed in these events, and in the last couple of years, in the last couple of VLR events, he has just seemed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's exactly what happened there. Started outside row number 1, the 15 in the middle. Yeah, that's a little more than a hey, how you doing, as he goes up to the wall, and likely going to bring it into Scott Fritz's heat race, and, well, he's going to have to come through the alphabet soup, and that's a tough task ahead.
Well, $85 to make a half a lap into turn number 1 and 2 for Scott Fritz. That's got to be a little frustrating.
For sure is. Talking about the payout of this event, I mean, you're talking $7,000 to win, $250 just to start, and the LCQ, it's very interesting. I was looking at this earlier. $500 to win the LCQ, or you can start the main event and race for the $7,000. That's going to be an interesting question for our LCQ winner on Wednesday.
Yeah, it most definitely will be. And just want to give a shout out to Schaeffer's Oil and, all the great sponsors, Celina 52, and all they do as well for everything they do for this Spring Fling. You only get about $9,600, in entries. It's a $20,000 purse, Wes, and that's pretty incredible.
It's insane that, this is something that's a hobby for a lot of us, or maybe as close as we're ever going to get to actually being behind the wheel of a race car, and we get to race for that kind of money. And, just hats off to VLR. And we're not just saying that because we work in this event. Like, it's something amazing that there's so many people on this sim, and you have the chance for a race for $7,000, which is more than a night with a super late model series pays in most places in the country.
Yeah, 18 years ago, this event, it was in dirt track racing too, and the winner got a T-shirt. Wednesday night, they're going to race for $7,000 as we're underway. Heat race number 2. Once again, Damian Kiefer going to lead him down. And look out, the 07 car getting up to the wall. The outside, Rylee Knoll falling back now.
Yeah, Rylee Knoll, who'd gone from that 3rd starting spot to 2nd on the initial start, and now he's falling back through the pack. He's going to have some company. They are 4 wide nearly off of turn number 4 as he tries to march his way back through the field. James Braswell Jr. started 5th. He's up to 2nd. He's just really bided his time. Been in the right place so far. This one, Tucker Elkins, Aaron Bowman. Your 4 transfers as of right now, but they are beating and banging. Here comes Rylee Knoll back through the field.
Yeah, Knoll getting a little aggressive back there. Fell back to as far as 9th. Now fighting for a way for the transfer once again. He'll go to the inside of the 44 car, Bowman. They'll go side by side to turn number 4. Knoll with a slider. How about 9th back to 4th for the 07 car?
That is a man on a mission. Rylee Knoll, of course, we knew he was going to be fast after his performance a couple nights ago over at Lernerville, but he's very lucky because getting into the wall like he did, if you hit the right front on the fence, it will break your race car on most occasions. So Rylee Knoll able to continue. Right now, hold on to the 4th and final transfer spot. But this thing's far from over. We still got 3 laps to go.
Yeah, race for the lead kind of heating up a little bit there. James Braswell is now found right behind the 43 of Damian Kiefer. Daniel Elkins is right there with him as well. 1, 2, and 3 on the front straightaway. It'll be 2 to go. White flag will be out next time by, though.
Top 3 pretty comfortable where they're at right now. Rylee Knoll's got some company, but he's got a couple car lengths through turns 3 and 4. He'll lead it from the pole to the checkered. That's going to be Damian Kiefer picking up the victory. 2nd will go to Braswell, 3rd to Elkins, and 4th to Rylee Knoll after racing back to the back of the field. Actually, white flag out. 1 lap to go here in heat race number 2.
Yeah, white flag is out down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Braswell thought about it for a second. He'll back out of it. It'll be Damian Kiefer picking up the win. Braswell 2nd. Daniel Elkins 3rd. Rylee Knoll. Impressive job by him to come back and pick up that 4th and final transfer.
So 2 heats in the books, and I mean the racetrack's been pretty good so far. We saw the middle been dominant for the early going, but I think it's going to start widening out as Damian Kiefer picks up the victory in heat race number 2. Braswell 2nd, Tucker Elkins in 3rd, Daniel Elkins, and Rylee Knoll completing your transfers. Then Bowman, Copeland, Berlin, Boykin, Fritz, and Bowman round out the top 10, and rounding out the field in heat race number 2 was Tyler Wood and Craig Wheeler.
Heat race number 3 of 5, getting ready to grid up on the speedway. 12 more drivers getting ready to go 8 laps to distance. Once again, the top 4 will transfer, and row number 1 will look like this. On the front row pole on the inside, it'll be Brady Thompson. To the outside, it'll be Robbie Buchanan, Kendall Tucker, Brandon Giswide, and outside row number 2, Brayton Donaldson, Dylan Del Mastro at row number 3, Michael Clark, Tyson Banks at row number 4, Jared Valley, Austin Meyer at row number 5, and Ethan Sprague. Tucker Elkins going to round out row number six. Actually, it's Austin Meyer, Ethan Sprague going to round out row number 6. I think I missed somebody in there. Nonetheless, pacing them around, getting ready to roll. Heat race at number 3 for the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling.
You got to keep an eye on a couple of big drivers from the middle of the pack here. The Alien Michael Clark going to be rolling off from 7. Tyson Banks coming off a Dirt Series championship just a couple of weeks ago in a super late model, picked up a couple of victories in that one. He's rolling off from 8. So keep an eye on those two as they come from the back of the pack. Of course, Brady Thompson, he's going to have the tough job trying to hold off the field as we go green next time by.
And the Buccaneer, Robbie Buckingham Buchanan on the outside of row number 1. Had a great run in the race for the Fling, working his way through the field. Kendall Tucker, he's always a contender at the VLR events alongside Brandon Giswhite. Inside, outside, row number 2. Braden Donaldson challenging his inner Jeff Gordon. And the Rainbow Warriors paint scheme as we come to life. Green flag is out, heat race number 3.
Already a little contact before the final transfer spot before we even get to turn number 1. Nearly going to go 3 wide once again as Jeff Gordon's got some company as we're down the back straightaway. Tucker makes a little contact back there for second as well. Racetrack pretty good so far on these starts.
How about 3 wide for the 4th and final transfer spot? Jeff Gordon on the outside trying to hang on to it, and that's Giswhite in the middle. And here comes Michael Clark on the bottom of the speedway. He'll try to slide both of them. He'll pull alongside Braden Donaldson, and now he'll slide for 4th.
A little bit of right rear contact further by Clark, but able to get on the binders, and the driver on the slide has been that 24 machine as Clark goes back to the inside of, I believe that is Giswhite for the 4th position. Things really heating up. Top 3 breaking away a little bit. Thompson, he's got some company. Buchanan and Tucker right there with him.
Yeah, Giswhite holding down that 4th and final transfer in the 18. They're about 3 wide right behind him. Braden Donaldson in the picture as well as the 747 of Tyson Banks trying to make it 3 wide. Big slider coming from Michael Clark now.
Michael Clark's knowing he's running out of time as we've got 4 laps in the books, 4 laps to go in this one, and now marching back through the field. Here comes the 24 machine on the outside looking in, but looking to the inside of Giswhite before the final transfer spot. 3 wide back there for 6th.
3 wide back there for 4th, and a race for the lead heating up once again as well. Robbie Buchanan on the outside trying to find a way around Brady Thompson down the back straightaway. It'll be 2 sticks out, 2 more trips around, and now Buchanan with a slider at a turn number 3 and 4. 2 more trips around this time.
Buchanan going to take the edge over this heat race with just 2 laps remaining out front. Buchanan now going to rocket around the top side, has the edge as Brady Thompson and the 26 machine still watching the battle for the 4th and final transfer spot. Guess why? Tyson Banks has made his name known as well. That 747 is on the move on the bottom of the racetrack.
Good racing all around the speedway right now. Brady Thompson trying to hang on to it, working the white flag lap down the back straightaway. Buchanan in 2nd, Kendall Tucker in 3rd. Race for the 4th and final transfer spot in turn number 4. It'll be Jeff Gordon hanging on, but it'll be Brady Thompson picking up the win. Buchanan 2nd, Kendall Tucker 3rd, and Braden Donaldson, the 24 car, picking up that 4th and final transfer. Pretty good race right there, Wes. That was entertaining.
Yeah, it was. We had a good battle there for the lead. Of course, Buchanan doing everything he can, trying to get around Brady Thompson. Kendall Tucker just comfortably there in 3rd. Donaldson can breathe a sigh of relief. He has made it into the feature event. Guess what? We'll round out the top 5. He'll head to a B main with Tyson Banks, Dylan DeMastro, Tyler Knopf, Ethan Sprague, rounding out the top 10 in heat race at number 3. Rounding out the field was Jason Valley and Michael Clark.
4th heat race of 5 here in server number 1, getting ready to roll out onto the speedway. And Wes, you'll tell us how they'll line up.
We'll have the defending winner of this event from 1 year ago, Joey Lingron, leading us to green in the 1 machine with Ethan Johnson to his outside. Johnson had a really good run in the Gobbler back in January. Ryan Hodge will roll off inside row number 2 with Nick Baum in the 02 machine. Ethan Bowers make up the inside of row number 3, flanked by Chase Carr. James Miller in the 22 going to be rolling off from inside row number 4 with the 99 of Kyle Hardy to his outside. Justin White and Michael Carter back there in row number 5, and Sean Smith, Logan Hickerson round out the field here in heat race number 4. 3 heat races in the books, just 2 more to go. So we've got 12 locked in. We're adding 8 more, and it's time for the alphabet soup.
So defending winner Joey Lingron on the inside of the front row here in heat race number 4, looking to defend the Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. He picked up $6,000 in this event a year ago, alongside Ethan Johnson. Now Johnson, he's been talk of maybe another driver to watch. I haven't really gotten to watch too much of Ethan Johnson. One of those, maybe new drivers coming up in the iRacing ranks, but should be a pretty good front row.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson, very quick. He is one of those newer drivers you mentioned, and he can really put that race car. He's very aggressive out front, but hey, he makes things happen, and that's what you got to have. You got to have speed, you got to have aggressiveness to be the driver up front. And Joey Lingron, who didn't really have too much notoriety when it comes to the dirt late model game heading into the Spring Fling last year. Of course, we always talk about the big names. Lingron came from the sprint car world, and well, he put everybody on notice, picking up $6,000 and look to go repeat this year as we bring heat race number 4 to green.
There we go. Green flag is out. Heat race number 4 underway. They'll drag race down to turn number 1 and 2. Lindgren going to have the spot. Johnson on the outside, full head of steam. How about 3 wide right behind him? Bowers, Baum, and Hodge. And now Chance Carr, the 0-2 on the bottom of the speedway, up to third around every one of them.
Chance Carr just took the line that nobody else was running. Nick Baum, kind of just the meat in the sandwich. They are 4 wide back there for the 4th position. Baum just can't seem to catch a break as Lindgren trying to pull away from the rest of the field.
Nick Baum, the 0-2 car, maybe a little contact right there with Ethan Bowers racing for the transfer. And here comes Kyle Hardy on the outside of the racetrack. 3, 4, maybe 5 wide back here at times. Unbelievable racing through the middle of the field.
That's one of the things you get from Charlotte. It can be so racy, especially if you get it ran in the correct way. As now Bowers going to roll on the outside. They're going to make some contact back there for the 4th spot. Maybe a 2-for-1 slider here from Baum, just trying to find the grip, get back on the throttle in the moisture of the racetrack.
They are 3 wide. That is Ryan Hodge in the 19 on the very outside of the speedway, up against the wall, looking for the transfer over Nick Baum. He'll have it on the front straightaway. Move the 19 of Ryan Hodge to 4th right now, but he's got company. 3 drivers right there with a chance now.
You know, we're watching the battle out here for the 3rd and 4th spot to try to get in the big dance here for prelim number 1. Don't take Kyle Hardy out of it either. He's back there in striking distance. We got a battle for the lead. Johnson has closed in on Lingren. He's just a couple car lengths back from the 1 machine.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson about 0.3 of a second right behind Joey Lingron, holding down 1 and 2. Chance Carr in position number 3, race for 4th right now. Ryan Hodge has kind of pulled away just a little bit, and there's still 3 wide right behind him. And now Hodge on the outside getting a run on Chance Carr down the back.
Big move there by Baum to change lanes. He went from running the bottom and battling for that transfer spot to moving to the top side. Now they're duking it out for 5th. Now going to get you in the big show, get you a better starting spot in a B main as the white flag waves. Final lap around in this one.
Yeah, final time for Joey Lingron into turn number 3 and 4. Smooth sailing as Ethan Johnson throws it in there one more time. Lingron will pick up the win. Johnson 2nd, Chance Carr to 3rd, and Ryan Hodge going to pick up your 4th and final transfer of heat race number 4.
Oh, man, a big melee coming to the line that cost a couple spots to Nick Baum in the 0-2 machine as he has to settle for 6th. He was right there in 5th with Ethan Bowers, and Hickerson in the mix as well, coming from the back of the field from 12th to 7th. Impressive to see. Hardy comes home 8th, Smith 9th, Miller 10th, Carter 11th, and Justin White in 12th with our final heat race on the racetrack.
5th and final heat race, and this may just get a little plumb wild out there on the racetrack. It'll be Nathan Waddell, the inside of row number 1 to the outside. Bradley Putnam in the 212 car. Matthew Watt, Samuel Bachman inside outside row number 2. Cale Smith, Chase Short in row number 3. Ryan Chilifo and Cole McCubbin in row number 4. Hunter Lagoons and Caleb Hudgens in row number 5. And Zach Weisenfluff going to make up row number 6, all back there by himself. So 5th and final heat race, 11 more drivers, 8 laps to distance. Once again, the top 4 will make their way into the prelims. Server A main number 1. The rest will have to come from one of these alphabet soups here in just a moment.
I had to mention during that lineup there, it mentioned Antarctica for Bradley Putnam. Actually, Alabama, and I think folks in Alabama would be just fine if it was a little more like Antarctica instead of 100 degrees that we have all across the South right now. But it is about to get a little plumb wild. Nathan Waddell on the pole, looking to make the starting lineup tonight and make his sponsors happy, unlike last year.
Yeah, Putnam and Alabama, very familiar with the Putnams with the Hunt Front Super Dirt Series, and Josh being the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series champion in 2023. So Bradley on the outside, trying to match the Florence Flash, and plumb wild Nathan Waddell on the inside of row number 1. Sam Bachman, Matthew Watson, row number 2, getting ready to go green. 5th and final heat race, server number 1, Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling coming to life. Here we go.
Nathan Waddell with the early jump. It's not been the place to be on the outside of row number 1, and that nearly holds true as Putnam makes a little contact. They're going to make big contact. Putnam loses the spoiler, and out of nowhere, Cale Smith jumps up to the battle for the 2nd spot. We are 4 wide, still beating and banging like a county fair.
Yeah, Putnam falls all the way back from 2nd to 9th on that that contact right there, trying to fight back to the outside. But meanwhile, Nathan Waddell, what a jump. He was ready to go on that start, pulling away to over a second lead already. Matthew Watts. Cole McCubbin already up 5 spots to third. Ryan Chilifo up 3 spots to fourth. So movers and shakers here at heat race number 5, and we got a caution.
Yeah, that one got very aggressive. People kind of saw that you got to get while the getting's good on those starts, and that's exactly what happened. As Nathan Waddell was checked out from the rest of the field, and tough luck there for Putnam, as Putnam entered in 1 and 2 with the spoiler. You got it knocked off, and that is basically a death wish for your race whenever it comes to iRacing, is your car instantly loses about a second to about a second and a half from the rest of the field.
Yeah, a little contact right there with Chase Short and Sam Bachman bringing out the caution here at heat race number 5. Look at them racked and stacked, double back up, 2 down, going 8 here in heat race number 5. 5 of 5 here in server number 1. And don't forget, we'll have a whole nother server coming up after this one. 60 brand new drivers, so don't go anywhere. We got 295, almost 300 watching on the live stream right now. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from, who you may be rooting for here tonight.
Nathan Waddell going to bring the field at pace and fire off in turns 3 and 4 here on the restart. Back underway in our 5th and final heat race. Keep an eye on the battle for the final transfer spot. We saw it get wild last time. It's going to do more of the same here in turn number 1.
A little contact right there for the 4th and final transfer. That's Zach Weisenfluff in the 224, the 24 car making some contact. And they're 3 wide back there still for the 4th and final transfer. That could be anyone's ball game right now.
Absolutely, as the 007 machine tries to go back down to the bottom to make something, the 07 machine, excuse me, for the 4th and final transfer spot. Nothing happening just yet, as Ryan Chilifo in the 07 trying to make the bottom work. Right now, Zach Weisenflow holding on to the 4th and final transfer spot. Just outside of them, though, Caleb Hutchins making some things work with Hunter Lagoons right there with him as well.
And Nathan Waddell out in front. He had a great start on both the restarts thus far, pulling away from Matthew Watts. Just about a second difference at the line. Cole McCubbin in the 33 car in third, and it's Weisenfluff holding down the 4th and final transfer spot. Chilifo, Lacoons, Hudgens, all on the outside looking in.
Yeah, the racetrack really moving into that middle bottom of the speedway is the dominant line. We see the top 2 move up the racetrack a little bit. That's going to open things up. McCubbin's got company. No one wants to be in that 4th and final transfer spot. Not only is a better starting spot on the line, 5 positions better in the prelim feature cut, and it closed with a U-tire was the 224 machine, and things are starting to tighten up again as we come to the final lap of this one. White flag in the air.
Yeah, white flag is out. Waddell will have it comfortably in your race leader. Watt's going to take one more shot at a turn number 4. But Waddell picking up the win. Watt second. Cole McCubbin third. Race for 4th at the line will go Zach Weisenfluff, as McCubbin and Weisenfluff got to race in there for 3rd and 4th. And Chilifo almost ran him down right there at the end.
Yeah, things, when you start racing for position, it really tightens things up, and those guys nearly had another chance. Chilifo and Lagoons in the 72 machine. Hudgens kills Smith. Finish on the outside looking in with Rylee, Putnam, Chase Short rounding out your top 10. Waddell, Watts, McCubbin all moving on to the big show here tonight, as well as the 224 of Zach Weisenflow. Everybody else about to head to this D, C, and B main. These are the hooligan races for a reason, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is where it'll get fun. 15 drivers getting ready to go 12 laps the distance. The top 4 will move over to the C main, the back of the C main. And Wes, you have our starting lineup.
Well, just had some tough luck there in heat race number 5. Rylee Putnam will bring us to green in the 212 machine out of Florence, Alabama, with Chase Hardy. That's strange to see him in the D main. He's going to have to roll from outside of row number 1. Tyler Bowman and Ethan Sprague will be row number 2. We head to row number 3, where you find the 22 of James Miller, the 7 of Chase Short. Row number 4, Justin Pennington and Tyler Wood, Jaron Valley, and Michael Carter back there in row number 5. Sam Bachman going to have his work cut out for him, that FTM 007 machine, flanked by Gavin Gravitt in the 21. Craig Wheeler, Michael Clark, and Justin White will round out your field here in this D main. We're only taking 4. There's 15 cars out on the speedway, 10 laps the distance, so a little bit of an amped up heat race, and you really turn up the pressure as well, because if you do not finish in that top 4 in this one, your Spring Fling is over.
Yeah, just like that, $80 set on fire here in the VLR Spring Fling, 18th annual Putnam Hardy, your front row. And Putnam, man, from a front row of a heat race to a front row of the D main, that is probably not what they had in mind.
Absolutely not. And I mean, Putnam's got plenty of speed, and we've seen it on several occasions. I've run several races with the 212 machine, and it's all about just how aggressive everybody's going to be in these fields. I mean, this D main's going to be insane. So you got to get the jump, you got to get away. The outside has not had a good start in any heat race tonight. So Chase Hardy might be under a little fire just to get things started, because we're only taking the top 4. James Miller keeping on that 22 machine. He'll do whatever it takes to get one of those top 4 positions.
All right, Wes, I'm going to put you on the spot right now here in the D main. Which one of these drivers could you see making a strong soup run here tonight?
In all honesty, Chase Hardy. It's hard to. I'll take the low-hanging fruit there. Hardy, we've seen run pretty good in these VLR events. Putnam has had a lot of speed, and Putnam knows exactly when to throw some of those haymakers to get on in, just like Josh does. So we'll see what happens as Putnam brings us to green.
Green flag is out. 10 laps to distance here in the D main. They'll increase by 2 laps, so C will be 12 and the B will be 14 as Putnam leads them down the back straightaway. They're 4 wide for third right now. Here comes the 22 car, James Miller, trying to work his way through the field as well back there. They're still 3 wide.
Man, just insane racing. I mean, it is do or die, your final chance to even keep your Spring Fling alive, as Miller now got a Hornet's Nest behind him for the 4th spot. He's comfortably in 3rd. Another little move there. Hey, how you doing? Keep it moving back for the final transfer spot. A Sprague trying to hold on.
And Rylee Putnam's pulled away from Chase Hardy up there. A couple of car links for 1st and 2nd. Tyler Bowman, he's got his hands full because Miller will slide him for 3rd. Bowman back to 4th. He's got his fans full. They're 3 wide now with Gavin Gravitt and Justin Pennington. Gravitt up 8 spots already from 12th to 4th.
I mean, you got to get while the getting's good, and Gavin Gravitt knows he has to get to one of those 4 transfer spots. A big pile up there, and turn number 4, and a big door to somebody up into the fence. Somehow we stay green with 5, or on lap number 5, 4 in the book, 6 to go, and that might bring out our caution flag. First one for this one.
And caution will be out. And go back through the field and see what happens. A lot of contact, like you said. Be the looking for the
Clark there. Oof.
Yeah, looking for the crash, not really finding it right now. We'll leave it to Hugo there. There you go on the screen on the broadcast.
Talk about the perfect time to make a lane change, as Clark just barely missed that, the 20. Getting hard into the wall, into the 7 machine, likely for the 15. He's going to have nose damage, and you hate to see that, but I mean, that's just what happens in these D mains. I mean, it's only taking the top 4. Everybody wants to make their money last, and Bowman's going to get an EOL for that one, and he was just outside of a transfer spot.
Huge shout out to Gavin Gravitt right now. Started 12th in this D main, and the first 5 laps has driven up to 4th, up 8 spots. Currently sitting in the transfer, but only halfway home, so still plenty of time for something to go right or wrong. But Gravitt having a good first half of the D main thus far.
Yeah, Michael Clark as well has kind of marched to the field. Started 14th, currently runs in the 5th spot. Gravitt, you mentioned, from 12th to 4th. So those 2 drivers, I mean, Clark, he can make things happen in that 13 machine. He's still got to gain a couple positions. I'd like to say that if I was much of a betting man, I'd bet the top 4 is not going to stay like this.
Oh, most certainly not. There's going to be a lot of action getting ready to come back your way here in just a moment. Pace truck going to make that hard left-hand turn down the back straightaway. Rylee Putnam at the 212. Chase Hardy going to be your front row. Putnam going to have command of the field. Coming back to green right here to turn number 3 and 4. Green flag is out, and we are underway. Got one car already up into the wall on the outside.
Yeah, I think that's going to be from that damage, that wreck a few moments ago. Clark going to take a look to the inside of Miller for the 4th and final transfer spot. And on the outside, here comes the 25 machine, I believe that is. We're 3 wide back there as well for the 6th position. Clark and Miller get together, and it's going to cost them both.
Michael Clark from 14th to 4th, looking for 3rd, trying to throw the slider on Gravitt for 4th now as they go side by side down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. 3 more trips around this time for Rylee Putnam.
What a race back there for the 3rd spot. Your top 2, Putnam and Hardy, pretty comfortable in their positions. Clark and Gravitt racing like they're already battling it out for that $7,000 payday. Miller has got to make something happen. Craig Wheeler starting to march through the field, and Sam Bachman on the outside looking in back there in 6th.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive Clark and Gravett will be in third and fourth right now, comfortably in the show. They'll come around to the white flag next time by for the 212 of Putnam. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4, kind of single file. White flag is out this time.
The battle for the fifth spot is kind of giving a bit of a gap there for Gravett and for Michael Clark, but down the back straightaway and through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Putnam will lead them all and move to the C main along with Hardy. Watch the battle for third, and Clark drives it in deep and nearly gets the back bumper of Hardy. Putnam with the win, Hardy second, Clark third. Gravett, your 4 transfers into the C main. Bachman, Wheeler, Miller, Sprague, and the rest of the gang see their spring fling come to an end here in prelim number 1.
Basically from dead last to third and a transfer from Michael Clark right there, because 15th didn't even start the show. And man, what a drive, him and Gravett as well. But D main is done. It is C main time. We'll add 2 laps to the board, move the top 4 of this one over to the B main. 16 drivers. Row number 1 will be Dylan Del Mastro and Logan Hickerson inside outside. Row number 2 on the inside will be Caleb Hudgens, to the outside James Seawright. Caleb Boykin on the inside of row number 3, to the outside Austin Meyer, Kyle Hardy, and Cale Smith inside outside row number 4, Aaron McGee, Scott Fritz in row number 5, Tyler Knopf, Sean Smith in row number 6, and row number 7 will be your B main transfers, Briley Putnam,
Once again, the pole sitter gets a good jump. That's where you got to start watching the battle for third, fourth, fifth, and back. Big slider back there from your fifth place starter of Caleb Boykin to try to get to the second spot in the 71 machine. Hickerson's got some company. Are we going to make it clean and green through lap number 1? We are.
Oh, Scott Fritz gets turned around again. Whoa, my goodness. Tough break for the 48 car right there in the middle of the field, bringing out the caution. Don't think he got too much damage, but still a lot of contact right there through the middle of the field for the 48 car.
The Maryland driver just can't seem to catch a break. You see Putnam and I believe this 7 machine getting together, and Fritz just a victim of circumstance. They got together under him, pushed him up the racetrack, and got to the left to a quarter panel and sent the 48 around. So tough luck for Fritz. He's still got a chance. There's still a lot of racing left to go, and this one is Putnam going to pick up the EOL.
Briley Putnam picking up the EOL, going to restart tail end of the field behind everyone else. And Scott Fritz already trying to work his way back up there in the 48 car. See where they'll restart him. Del Mastro, Hickerson. Well, front row, we'll re-rack them, restack them, double them back up. We got 2 down, going 12 here in the C main.
So we're going to try this one all over again. Just when I said we're going to make it a lap clean, we get to the back of the field. And I don't know about y'all, but the leader +3 always is our rule. We'll go back to green on lap number 2 here. The pole sitter, once again, going to be the 62 of Dylan Del Mastro. Hickerson going to have some new life. Actually was fighting back there in the 3rd and 4th spot. So he'll roll off from outside row number 1 with another chance here. Everybody trying to get a good jump. They'll get bunched on up back to green in the C main.
Yeah, keep your eye on that 71 car. Threw a big slider on the opening start. We'll see if he does it again here in the 71. They go 3 wide for a second momentarily. It'll be the 62 car. Del Mastro out in front right now. Hickerson second, Hudgens, and Caleb Boykin in the 71 kind of throw his hat in the picture now.
Big slider there by the 71. 4 wide for the lead as Del Mastro got up into the fence. Gives us a new leader in Logan Hickerson. Good crossover move by the 98 machine, and things starting to ramp up again as the 10 of Boykin's under attack. There goes the 71 up through the field, and Austin Meyer on the move. Kyle Hardy already up to 7.
Yeah, good driving through the middle of the field. Man, they're 3-4 wide back here. Just so tight racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway right now. A little bit of contact through the middle of the field. Scott Fitz trying to work his way back, and a little contact as well, but it's all Hickerson out in front right now. Del Mastro trying to find a way around him once again to try to regain that lead.
Del Mastro just doing everything he can. He's at the top of the racetrack, and now he's just going to move about a lane off of the top of the speedway. Good exit there. Boykin back there in third. And then it's the Hornets nest we talked about back there for fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, all right there together. Hutchins trying to hold on for dear life.
Yeah, Austin Meyer, Kyle Hardy, both on the outside looking in. They got a long way to go to get to the top three of Hickerson, Del Mastro, and Boykin. And back there with Hutchins trying to hold on for dear life with a host of drivers right behind him trying to find a way to make something work late in this race.
Coming around a complete lap, number 8, just 4 more to go in this one. Hardy has made a big lane change. He went from the bottom where he passed all those cars to the top. We got a battle for the lead. Big slider by Boykin for second. Thought better of it. Pulled back into line. Del Mastro goes around the outside. Hickerson breathing a sigh of relief because all those top 3 cars could have been included in that one if Boykin pulled the trigger.
Race for the lead heating up momentarily back there. Hickerson hanging on to it. Del Mastro still in second. Boykin back to third. He took a shot there, but still falling back. It'll be 2 to go next time by. He gets a good run into turn number 3 and 4. And meanwhile, back here for the 4th and final transfer, Hutchins holding on to it, but he's got company now.
Kyle Hardy's really made the top somewhere. Big slider back there by Austin Meyer. Hutchins did exactly what he needed to do. Rolled off the throttle, turned back under him. Hardy has a chance. We come to the white flag this time by. Final lap around to the C main, and this one's not over.
Final time for Logan Hickerson in your race lead right now. They're throwing sliders for second and third back there. Boykin on the outside up to second. Del Mastro third. Hutchins in fourth. But out of turn number 4, Logan Hickerson going to advance to the B main. Boykin second. Great drive by him. Del Mastro third. And Caleb Hutchins going to pick up the 4th and final transfer.
And a wild C main, and things just going to ramp up from here as we head to the B. Hickerson, Boykin, and Del Mastro with Hutchins joining your 4 transfers from the C main. Austin Meyer, Kyle Hardy just going to be on the outside looking in. They will see their spring fling come to an end with James Seay, Sean Smith, Kel Smith, and Chase Hardy completing your top 10. From there, it's Gavin Gravitt, who was unable to make it from the D to the C to the B. Michael Clark, Aaron McGee. Scott Fritz, the tough luck continues. His spring fling is over. Tyler Knopf and Rylee Putnam round out your 16 cars in group or in BC main action. Now we head to the B, and this is where it's all about getting into the top 4 to make just the prelim feature here tonight.
16 drivers get ready to grid up. Only 4 going to advance to A main in server number 1. With the top 12 will punch their ticket and say 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. And Wes, you got the lineup.
Starting on the pole, it's going to be the 09 of Tanner Tomasi, a VLR regular stalwart in the 09 machine with Aaron Bowman at his outside. Brandon Guys White in the 18 machine will be flanked by Ethan Bowers in row number 2, Ryan Chavot and Colton Jordan in row number 6, Tyson Banks and Chase Copeland row number 4, with Nick Baum coming from back in row number 5, the 9th starting spot. Hunter Lagoons to his outside. Willie Cuddy and Aiden Berlin will make up row number 6. Then your transfers from C-Main action. Logan Hickerson, Caleb Boykin in the 98 and the 71. Dylan Del Mastro and Caleb Hutchins round out the field in row number 8.
So 16 drivers, 4 more spots up for grabs. We'll add 2 more laps to it as well. So 14 laps to distance here in the B main for server number 1. Tanner Tomasi, Aaron Bowman, Brendan Giswhite, Ethan Bowers. Your first 2 rows, pace truck making that hard left-hand turn into the infield. 14 laps to distance, top 4 going to advance to the show. Server number 1, Tanner Tomasi, Aaron Bowman coming to green.
A little bit different look for Tanner Tomasi as we enter this spring fling as he'll take us into turn number 1. Guess what? Going to go to the inside of Bowman for the 2nd position. 3 cars duke it out for 3rd and 4th. Big move there by Colton Jordan. He's going to throw the slider, drift right on up into the door of Guess What? He'll have 3rd as Tomasi leads lap number 1.
Yeah, Tomasi out in front comfortably right now, but the race behind him is anyone's guess right now. Guess White up to 2nd. Colton Jordan into 3rd. Ethan Bowers in the 00 holding down the 4th and final transfer. Bowman, Chilifo, Baum all back there fighting as well. They're 5 wide through the middle of the field.
Big slider inbound from Colton Jordan. We saw him go from 6th to 3rd on the opening lap, as now he's going to take the 2nd spot away, at least momentarily, to guess why blocked the slider there from the 18 machine. Tanner Tomasi would love to see what's in his rearview mirror. He is pulling away as there's 5 cars under a blanket for just 3 transfer spots.
Good racing at the front of the field. Tomasi out in front, showing the way. That's Colton Jordan, Guess White, Chilifo. The top 4, they're 3 wide for 4th now. The 13 of Berlin, I do believe, throwing his hat in there.
Yeah, Berlin trying to get a little bit aggressive there. Nick Baum joins the mix. There's Bowman back into the mix in the 44 machine, as Nick Baum going to make some contact with the left rear quarter panel of Chilifo and slide on back through the pack. Things continue to ramp up, but all these drivers on the outside looking in behind Ethan Bowers, trying to hold off the 07 and the
Chilifo is cleared up to 5th now, with Berlin back to 6th. Now Chilifo looks to the inside for the 4th and final transfer on Bowers, working lap number 7. It's just about side by side at a turn number 2. Bowers on the outside pulls ahead as Tanner Tomasi will come around to lead another lap comfortably out in front.
Tanner Tomasi going to try to race his way into tonight's prelim number 1 feature event. Bowers still continues to try to hold on. They're stair-stepping back there nearly 3 wide. That is Berlin and Chilifo. 07 machine going to have a run to the right rear quarter panel. Here comes the 13 machine as well to the door. They're going to all make contact. And who's going to have the 4th and final transfer spot at the line? Give it to Aiden Berlin from 6th to 4th.
Yeah, a little aggressive right there, but you got to do what you got to do. Unfortunately for Chilifo, he'll fall from racing for the transfer back to 7th, 8th, and 9th, racing for that right now, as Berlin now sits in the 4th spot as the lap's taken away. Bowers trying to fight back to the inside. He'll throw the slider himself. Berlin going to cross him down the hill, down the back straightaway, and regain it.
You know, Bowers is going to keep that in his mind. He's the one who caught the door running in the 4th and final transfer spot, slid on the outside looking in. So keep that in mind as we head toward the final couple laps. If there's an opening, does Bowers give it right back to Berlin? They both might not have a chance, because here comes Willie Cuddy. He's been about one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, running the top side now. He's got a chance to battle for the 4th and final transfer spot. Slider inbound on the 00 machine. Berlin going to hold on to 4th for now with 3 to go.
Yeah, Cuddy, he may have something for him, as Tanner Tomasi out in front in a different area code right now. Colton Jordan in 2nd, Guess White 3rd. Best race of the racetrack was for that transfer. Aiden Berlin has it. Bowers, Cuddy, all back there wanted. Who's it going to be?
Who is it going to be? A Hail Mary. Bowers now has separated himself from the other 2 drivers, drives it in deep, doesn't make but Berlin tried to turn downhill just a little bit of contact. Bowers stays right there with him, as we'll see the white flag this time by. Does Bowers return the favor to Aiden Berlin for the 4th and final transfer spot here in the B main? It's the difference of having your spring fling come to an end, or if you're going to be going on to the prelim feature.
Tanner Tomasi already into turn number 3 and 4. The white flag lap going to pick up the win easily. Colton Jordan 2nd, Giz White 3rd. Race for the transfer at the line. Give it to Aiden Berlin. Up 8 spots, 12th to 4th for Aiden Berlin to get into the A main.
What a finish to that one. And just like that, we're through all the prelim features. Your 4 transfers from B main action. Tanner Tomasi in the 09 machine. Colton Jordan going to race his way in the 83. Brandon Guess White and Aiden Berlin heading to the prelim feature. Ethan Bowers, Willie Cuddy, Tyson Banks, Ryan Chilifo, Caleb Boykin, Logan Hickerson going to see their night come to an end. Dylan Del Maestro, Hunter Lagoons, Chase Copeland, Nick Baum, Aaron Bowman, and Caleb Hudgens round out the B main. Their night is all over, and we are now left with 24 cars, about to go 40 laps to see who's going to lock their way into the top 12 in the 18th annual Spring Fling.
Yeah, a little bit of a warm-up going to happen right quick. Let these drivers get the final test and tune of the racetrack to get those setups dialed in. And Wes, man, this has been fun thus far. I mean, we've seen some great racing thus far, and man, this track has been unbelievable.
It really has. I mean, it's partially the drivers. I mean, you got to be able to make those moves and be willing to jump out of line. A lot of times, you know, it can be follow the leader whenever it's just a normal league race or just a normal hosted race or something of that nature. But here, with so much on the line and a chance at $7,000 in every single event you're out there, every position matters. You got to make those moves. You got to be willing to move around the racetrack. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do on this warm-up, kind of widen out the speedway a little bit. We saw the bottom be pretty good. The middle kind of became dominant for a little bit. And then the top side came back to life. And I expect more of the same in this 40-lap feature event. With tire wear, you got to think about who's going to take the gamble a little bit and run a little bit more pressure, and who's going to be there at the end.
Now, 40 laps, the top 12 will lock themselves into the A main on Wednesday night. I'm going to try to pull up the purse right now just to talk about that for a moment, just how much money these guys are racing for on Wednesday night. It'll be $250 to start the A main event on Wednesday night. You know, the last chance qualifier going to have the option of $500 or a starting spot in the 100-lap main event. He's going to have to finish 6th in that main event to make that $500 back. It's $7,000 to win, $2,500 for second, $1,500 for third, $1,000 for fourth, and $600 to finish inside the top 5 for the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. What a payout! I mean, you don't get this kind of payout on a lot of real tracks, Wes.
You really don't. I mean, a $20,000 purse for this event is that's insane. For any event, you'd be like, man, that's a lot of money. How are they going to, fill the gate, or, is it going to be coming from the pits, whatever it may be? How many people in the stands and how many hot dogs we got to sell? Here, we don't have that luxury. It's all about how these great sponsors that help out with this event, and a lot of this is coming from the pockets of some really great people.
Yeah, got a lot of great people watching right now, right at 300 watching the live stream on the TeamVLR.com Facebook page. Server number 1, A-Main, 40 laps to distance. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let us know who you're rooting for, who you got picking up the win out there here in this server number 1. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Want to give a big shout out to all the guys at Team VLR who helped put this deal on. KT King, Rocky Battenfield, Stephen Calavoda, Howard Weaver, Chris Ferguson. Just a great group of guys that really love this stuff and, man, just come together and put on a great event.
Absolutely, and the work that Steve puts into the racetrack, trying to give us a really good race, and trying to keep a handle on some of these guys. I can tell you, just with a couple of them, that like whenever you just have a field of a couple guys like this, that it can be a handful. Let alone when you take 60 of the best in each of these prelim servers, or 120 of the best on the sim. Trying to keep them all in line can be a tough task. And great run for Chris Ferguson a couple weeks ago over at Florence, and man, it's cool that so many people respect this as a sim and the opportunities it gives. I mean, $7,000, you can't really do that in anything else. And we're just sitting here, and a lot of these guys just maybe went to work today, went to school, came home, and they're racing for $7,000 on Wednesday night.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, you told me 20 years ago you could make $7,000 at an iRacing video game on dirt. I would have laughed at you, but here we are, 2025, and it's going down.
Absolutely. And then, hats off, as you mentioned, to VLR. They continue to make this event bigger. They don't have to do that, but they do it because they love the sport. $6,000 to win last year. I don't know about you, but $1,000 isn't easy to come by, and then you got to bump the purse even more by that for the rest of the field. So, I mean, it takes a lot. So, shout out once again to all those guys. It's an honor to be part of this event once again. And these drivers, man, they put on a great show. They are the best in the business for a reason. Yes, they do some crazy stuff sometimes because, yes, it is a video game, but there's a lot of respect given, as we're all vying for the same thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of great drivers, and they put a lot of time into this craft to be the best they possibly can be. And it shows it out there on the speedway when you get 120 of the best all together, and, man, putting on a great show thus far throughout the heats and the qualifiers to get up to this main event. And now they'll have 40 more laps to showcase their skills to get one of these oh-so-coveted 12 spots up for grabs. As practice rolling around right now, I wonder if Calavoda has them running a specific line to try to roll in this track just a little bit more.
He's been having to run the middle a little bit more as of late. I was watching turn number 3 specifically, seeing where it's starting to slicken up on entry. Let him run a little bit of a slider line to try to push the top of the racetrack there in turn number 4. It can reach out and get you in a hurry. That wall does stick out a little bit. And, I mentioned tire wear, a big part of this one. Not going to be as big in a 40-lapper, but this place can be very hard on tires, especially when you have to roll up and run the bottom or spinning up on the top of the racetrack. So you have to be conservative in that sense. But if you're one of those guys, maybe running 16th, 17th, 18th, that you got a little bit of a long shot to get one of those top 12 positions. You got to be smart with your moves. You might gamble just a little bit, maybe run 12 on the right rear instead of 10, or some guys might even run 14 depending on how their setup is with tire wear.
Not quite topless 100 tire wear, but still it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, you really, percentage-wise on iRacing, you really start to feel it when your right rear and any other tire, for that matter, gets down to about 70% or lower. And most of these feature events in a heavy track like this, it's about 1% a lap. In this case, I'd probably run a little bit lower air pressure just to make sure I have enough tire to be there at the end, because you never know if those guys out front set a toward pace and it stays green the whole time, you might not have a chance to get one of those spots. I like to be a little more conservative with it, but I know there's other people in this field that's going to do the exact opposite.
Yeah, watching these drivers in practice, this track has already slowed down quite a bit already. Some of their fastest laps in the session, 14:54. Ethan Johnson on top of the board. Their turning lap times at 15:2s, 15:5, so it's already slowed down quite a bit here in this practice session. Maybe by design, though.
Absolutely, and it makes for better racing, and it makes for less tire wear. Strangely enough, whenever it's a really heavy racetrack, you have a ton of tire wear, but at the same time, if you start skating a lot, it burns off that right rear when it does get slick. So you got to think about those things. This place gets really patchy, and we kind of saw it there during the heat races, to where, the line it'll be really slick on entry, and then you kind of drift up the racetrack, and less than a half a car, and it might be grip, and then you drift another half a car length, and it's all slick. So it's one of those places where you can kind of scotch up a little bit and drive, and different lines become dominant throughout the race, and it's really good about not going one lane.
Give a shout out to a couple more sponsors coming on board here for the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. Got Weber Valley Speedway, one of the hottest dirt tracks in all of the United States of America. And Weber Valley Speedway, they host a great racing program. Follow them on Facebook. Schaeffer's Oil, man, they've been a so critical part of the Spring Fling success the last couple of years. Can't thank them enough for everything they do for custom wheels out there. Stepping up and giving a nice little prize as well here in the 2025 Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. So big thanks to MPI and Celina 52 Truck Stop, another one putting up a great deal for the Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. But Wes, I do believe it is now time to go 40 laps, server number 1.
Absolutely. So we're going to get the starting lineup onto the racetrack. We'll go through that here in just a few minutes. I want to give a big shout out, as you mentioned, MPI. Some of the coolest trophies I've ever seen for pretty much any event, the steering wheel trophies for the hard charger and for your winner on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely incredible trophy. Just something you'd definitely like to have on your trophy shelf, that's for sure. But nonetheless, 40 laps, the main event. And Wes, we can alternate these ropes. Here we go.
Starting on the poles, your quick qualifier on that winner of Heat Racer number 1 will be Craig Swartz. To his outside, little DQ speed, it's Damian Kiefer and the Zero Machine.
We're number 2 on the inside, the 27 car. That'll be Brady Thompson. To the outside, that'll be Joey Lingron in 1.
Little Plum Wild podcast number 5, that's Nathan Waddell. Starting inside row number 3 with former prelim winner Desmond Busby to his outside in the 82.
4th row back on the inside will be James Braswell. To the outside, the Buccaneer, Robbie Buchanan in 31.
Ethan Johnson will bring up row number 5 in the 11 machine on the inside, and we'll stick with the 11. This time it's Matthew Watts in the Fusion Speed Shop, number 11 to his outside.
Row number 6 on the inside, the 127, former Spring Fling winner. That'll be Blake Matjoulis. To the outside in 87, it's Tucker Elkins.
We head now to row number 7 on the inside. You find a VLR stalwart. That's Kendall Tucker, the 00 machine. And to his outside, bold move from going to a deep starting spot in a heat race to a transfer. It's Chance Carr in the 2.
Cole McCubbin in 33 and Ethan Stuckwish in 35. It'll be inside, outside, row number 8.
From the penthouse to the outhouse, back to the penthouse, Rylee Knoll grabbing a transfer spot from his heat race. He'll make the inside of row number 9 with Braden Donaldson rocking the Jeff Gordon number 24 wrap to his outside.
The 10th row back in the inside, the 19. It'll be Ryan Hodge. To the outside in the 24, it's Zach Weisenflaw.
We now see your B-main transfers in the 09 machine. That'll be Tanner Tomasi. A little bit different look for him for this one. Colton Jordan able to race his way in. He finished second in the B-main. He'll start outside row number 11.
And your 12th and final row, longest way to go on the inside. In the 18, it's Brandon Giswhite. To the outside in the 47, Aiden Berlin. As we get ready to go, 24 drivers, only 12 going to make their way to Wednesday night in the main event. The rest will have to go to one of those last chance qualifiers. That's one thing we note. All these drivers in the A main will get to come back and race on Wednesday night. Only problem is, half the field going to be in one of those LCQs where only the winner will come, and that's not where you want to be at.
Absolutely not. As we go green, Craig Swartz going to have the early edge, wasting no time at all getting around. Kiefer was your third place car on the start as Craig Swartz got some company. Here comes the 42 or 82 machine of Desmond Busby.
Yeah, Busby arcing on the outside of the speedway right now, trying to work his way through the field. And now we got a race for the lead heating up. That is, I do believe, Brady Thompson on the outside, going to take over the race lead from Swartz side by side down the back straightaway. They're 3 wide right behind him.
Yeah, Damian Kiefer now going to look to try to rebound a little bit. He's going to try to get around the O2, smell blood in the water from Swartz and take over the second spot. Busby back there to fourth. Joey Lingron runs in the 6th position as here comes Ethan Johnson. Makes a little contact with Busby. Johnson runs the bottom. Swartz runs the middle. Little net code just sent Kiefer up the racetrack.
I give you a little update right now here for the 12th and final transfer is being held down right now by Daniel Elkins. That's probably going to change a lot in this 40 laps as he's got Kendall Tucker, Chance Carr right behind him, trying to work his way through the field. 12th is not where you want to be. 11th, you can breathe a little bit, but if you're out there running in 12th any time in this main event, you are definitely sweating.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the crazy things I've seen. Blake Matjoulis still back through the pack, as anything can happen. He's back there 9th, Buchanan 10th, Watts now in 11th, and Elkins on the final transfer spot. Kendall Tucker on the outside looking in, Chance Carr, Rylee, Knoll, all right there in the mix as well. A lot of things are going to happen. A lot of things are changing as well with these race cars. You got the extra fuel load that you have to put in to run 40 laps versus the 8 that you had in the heat race, and then you got the tire pressures. We mentioned who's going to take a gamble and try to be fast early, but maybe fade late.
Yeah, Brady Thompson out in front right now, extending his lead. 0.7 of a second will be the distance at the line over Craig Swartz, Ethan Johnson, Desmond Busby. Side by side for third down the back straightaway, Damian Kiefer holding down the 5th spot. Then it's James Braswell, Joey Lingron, Nathan Waddell, Blake Matjoulis, Kendall Tucker, the top 10. Robbie Buchanan, 11th. And right now, Chance Carr, 3 wide, trying to hold down that 12th and final transfer. Elkins on the bottom as well.
Matthew Watts has slid back from starting up front. We saw him and Ethan Johnson side by side. We got one just disappeared there as Rylee Knoll goes to the outside. And oh no, you hate to see that. That would be a terrible way for your prelim feature to end. We had a car disappear. Elkins now tries to look to the inside of Watts, makes contact with Matjoulis. Blake has to save it, holding on for now. He's going to fall outside the transfer spot.
Former Spring Fling winner Blake Matjoulis has fallen back to 14th, 2 spots out of a transfer. Elkins was running in the transfer back to 15th. As movers and shakers through the field, Rylee Knoll already up 5 spots to 12th. So the 07 on the move.
Yeah, big aggressive slider there, battling back through the pack. As it's on from anywhere position. Damian Kiefer has fallen back to the 5th position. Kendall Tucker, Joey Lingron inside that top 10. But they are going to be under fire here in just a few moments. Still watching the battle back there for the final transfer spot. Blake Matjoulis trying to get his feet back under him. Out front, though, it is all Brady Thompson. 1 second lead over Swartz. And right there on his back bumper, here comes Desmond Busby on the outside.
Yeah, Desmond Busby in the 82 car. He'll dip down the inside here to number 3 and 4. Try to get the run down the front straight away. It'll still be Swartz on the outside hanging on. And they'll pull the Ethan Johnson in 4th right there with him. Damian Kiefer fighting back as well in their first caution. Going to come out in the speedway.
And it's Rylee Knoll. Rylee had started 2nd in his heat race, kind of got moved out of the way and fell back to 9th, drove back to a transfer spot, and likely going to see his prelim feature come to an end. Heavy damage to the 07.
Little contact right there with the 127 of Matjoulis. Really didn't look like heavy contact, and kind of up into the wall the 07 goes, and looks like his night may be done.
Johnson's been on the move. Damian Kiefer's fallen back from 2nd to 5th. Braswell runs 6th after starting in 7th. Joey Lingron 7th. Waddell right now in a transfer spot in 8th. Kendall Tucker 9th. Watts 10th. Buchanan 11th. And Matjoulis is going to be given an EOL. He will give up the 12th and final transfer spot and tag the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting back to green on this restart. Thompson Green flag is back out, and he is pulling away down the front straightaway once again. Swartz in second. It's Busby, Johnson, and now race for fifth on the outside. Joey Lingron on the outside, getting a full run down the back straightaway, but it'll be Schaeffer holding on. They're 4, almost 5 wide right behind him now.
Joey Lingron just going to escape disaster there. He's going to throw the slider on Keepers. They make contact with his right rear. They're going to get bunched up. Kendall Tucker going to come away with that one. Somehow clean and green. Buchanan still under fire. Tucker gets a shot in the shorts. Here comes Waddell with the big slider. Things are really heating up in that middle part of the field.
Heating up in the middle part of the field. We had a race for the lead for a moment there as Swartz able to cross over the 27 of Thompson. Thompson able to fight back and regain the lead. Busby right there in the picture as well. Ethan Johnson, the lone driver, running the bottom of the speedway, gets a run on Busby for third. Trying to hang on to it. Here comes Joey Lingron on the outside.
Joey Lingron might have just been biding his time a little bit in the early going. He'd fallen back there about 7th, 8th, and has now battled his way on back. Waddell and Tucker still duking it out back there. I believe that's for the 8th position. Craig Swartz got his feet back under him. Busby going to go about a lane higher there in 1 and 2, bouncing off the fence. He's got a great run down the back straight. Does he throw the slider? No, he follows Swartz into turns 3 and 4. Thompson still holding the edge. Still a long way to go in this one. His next time by will be halfway.
I want to give a big shout out right now to Colton Jordan. Started 24th in this main event, has worked his way up to 9th, and they were 3 and 4 and 5 wide back there as our next caution comes out in the speedway, probably from this 3 and 4 wide racing right here. It'll be James Braswell bringing out the caution in 31. They were 4 wide. Braswell up into the wall, and tough break.
Yeah, Braswell's right there in the thick of the battle for the final transfer spot. And you see just, bumper cars going on throughout the pack, and he just ends up with the tough luck in the 109 machine as he's going to pull away. Still quite a bit of damage to the 109. He'll have to attack the backpack. He'll actually pick up the EOL in the process.
Yeah, so Braswell going to get the end of line penalty. And working our way through the field, Brady Thompson still holding it down. He didn't pull out to an extreme lead like he did on the first start, but still holding down the race lead. Just halfway home now, 20 down. It'll be 20 to go. So it'll be interesting how this track changes with tires in this last half of the run.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to think about, what some of these guys from the back of the pack were doing, and did they take the gamble? Like you're talking about with Colton Jordan, did he run a little bit more air pressure? He's up 11 spots, but as you mentioned earlier, do you really want to be in 10th, 11th, 12th place when it comes to the final half of this one? A guy who has had no problems so far so good running in that spot is Matjoulis. He's been about 11th or 12th for a good chunk of this race, and right now he's in the final transfer position, but that could very well change in a hurry. Tanner Tomasi starting to march his way through the field. Very methodical. He's up 7 spots from 21st to 14th. Will actually be 13th on this restart after Braswell going down.
So halfway, 20 down, 20 remaining. It'll be Thompson and Swartz. They've been 1 and 2 this entire time. Busby and now Lindgren on the outside of road number 2 has worked his way through the field. Actually, and green flag is back out, and here we go. They're 3 wide for second. Thompson going to lead them down the back straightaway, and here comes Busby up to second, looking for the lead now.
Busby, little hey, how you doing move there to your leader. Brady Thompson takes the top spot, just letting him know he was there, and Thompson now going to try to battle back a big slider back for the lead. Busby goes back to the top shelf. Lindgren runs second, parks it right on his nose, and here comes Ethan Johnson. Johnson goes back to the bottom and nearly finds a U-tire, nearly ruined the race there for Swartz in the process. Now we're duking out back there for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and it's going down back to the pack.
Oh, haymakers are being thrown everywhere for the race lead right now. Busby will cross back over Thompson down the back straightaway. Will Thompson do the same on the front? He'll turn it down the hill, but Busby will have the lead, and a caution will come out.
Ethan Johnson, who was racing for the lead, sees his spoiler get ripped off there by the outside wall here at Charlotte. He will fall back through the pack. He is your caution flag here in this one. And we found out which point people were going to finally pull the trigger and hit the NOS a little bit. That's exactly what's happened here. It's that lap 20 restart. 3 laps of absolute chaos in a prelim feature number 1.
Yeah, it was time to go. And unfortunately, going to have his night just get a little bit harder after that one for Ethan Johnson. We're working our way. Lap 23 now. It'll be 17 to go. A new race leader, Desmond Busby, and biding his time and made the move on the restart.
Yeah, Desmond Busby was we saw the outside line get a terrible start pretty much all night long, and that's exactly what happened to Craig Swartz. Busby was able to cross over there as he had restarted third, had a chance there at Thompson, and I don't think it was meant, but he gave a little shot in the shorts, and Thompson pushed up the racetrack. Busby was able to slide back. Thompson threw a slider back on him that let him know, hey, I see what you did, and I'll raise you one. But Busby was able to get back around him. So Desmond Busby, last time he won his prelim feature, it was because the leaders wrecked. This time, yeah, he's out front. He's going to be the one trying to hold on for the next 17 laps.
It's going to wave off the green flag, not go green this time, so we'll pace him around at least one more. And Busby and Thompson. Thompson, he has had the lead from the jump, not going to have to restart on the outside in second. A little different for him. We'll see if that'll throw a wrench at him. And Craig Swartz, Joey Lingron now. And look out for Nathan Waddell. Going to restart the inside of row number 3. Can the last half of this main event get plumb wild here at Charlotte?
I had even more respect now to Colton Jordan. He's moved up from 22nd. He was sitting in the 10th spot there, or the 11th position right before the caution. He is up to 9th now. And he's brought Matthew Watts right back there with him. Watts was in 12th in that last restart. Buchanan and Chance Carr would be your 12 transfers as of this moment. Things still about to shake on out. 17 laps to go as Busby brings us back to green.
Busby, Thompson coming back to green. Green flag is back out. It'll be Busby. He'll get the race lead down the front straightaway. Here comes Thompson with a crossover. Swartz as well, 3 wide out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. It'll be Busby on the outside with the advantage. He'll try to bring Lindgren with him. He'll fall back to 4th, but it's Thompson, Swartz, and Lindgren. The top 4 is Busby showing the way.
3 wide back there for the 4th position. Lindgren up top, Kiefer through the middle. Nathan Waddell joining the mix. Lindgren now going to cross over Craig Swartz. Big slider inbound in turn number 3 as we stay 3 wide back there for the 5th spot. Swartz gives Lindgren the lane, tries to cross him back over. Great battle back here from 3rd on back to 7th.
Colton Jordan is impressive as anyone out there at the Speedway right now. Up 17th from 22nd up to 5th, looking for more. Looking down the inside for 4th now for Craig Swartz.
Man, it is getting wild back there from the transfer spot as well. Colton Jordan has made it up to 5th as looks like Thompson going to get up into the fence, gives up the 2nd spot. Now the 3rd spot to Lindgren and to Swartz. Still watching the battle for the transfer spot. Buchanan, Watts were in there last time. Tomasi and Carr, and anybody still in the mix as things continue to ramp on up. Well, one in the wobbly, that's Ethan Johnson, who was just outside of a transfer spot after getting into the wall last time.
Yeah, Matthew Watts in the 11 holding down the 12th and final transfer. They're 3 wide right behind him, and here comes Chance Carr on the outside trying to get a big run to put himself into the show. Carr and now Watts will go side by side momentarily down the back straightaway. Race for 12th on the line. Coming around to be 10 laps to go.
Man, this one is still a lot of action out onto the speedway as Damian Kiefer kind of in the pinball here, bounce all around the racetrack. Tanner Tomasi has marched his way back from a B main transfer spot. He's inside the top 10. He makes his move for the 9th position, and it is 3, 4, 5 wide momentarily back to the final transfer spot.
Yeah, 3 wide for the transfer spot. That is Berlin on the outside, the 13. Chance Carr through the middle. And Matthew Watson, the 11 on the bottom of the speedway. Jeff Gordon, Braden Donaldson back there still has a shot. And don't count out the 127, Blake Matjoulis. 8 laps to go here at Charlotte and server number 1.
Blake Matjoulis trying to make the bottom of the racetrack work, go where they ain't. See if he can make it work for the 2-time Spring Fling winner. As side by side, Watts goes with Carr for the final transfer spot. They're going to make contact with Berlin. He has to save it. Got one up into the wall, and Donaldson got new life again to the 24 machine.
Where do you go? Berlin holding down. And now they're 3 wide right behind him, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Jeff Gordon up to 13th. 1 spot out of a transfer. He'll go to the outside of the speedway to try to get the run on Berlin. Coming around. 7 more trips around here at Charlotte. Who's going to pick up this 12th and final transfer?
Ethan Johnson was the last caution we had a few moments ago. He's going to throw the slider there on the 13 machine of Berlin. Johnson has gone from the back of the field back to a transfer position. It's not over. Big slider inbound by the 33 machine. They continue to duke it out in the battle for the lead. Well, looks like Cusby has opened up a 0.4 of a second gap over Lindgren. This is getting wild with 4 laps to go.
Oh, man, race for the transfer is really, really wild back here. 4 and 5 drivers. How about Blake Matjoulis now fighting there with the transfer? They are 4 wide momentarily. Matjoulis up to 13th. Ethan Johnson holding down the 12th and final transfer. These guys are going to have to single file out, try to run him down now.
Berlin going to throw a 3-car slider there on Matjoulis, Watts, and Donaldson, and it's not over. Ethan Johnson is pulling away. Matjoulis takes a hard hit into the turn 3 wall head on, and that will likely bring out the caution with just a handful of laps to go.
And the caution will come out, and this will change everything. Take a look.
Oh, my.
Take a look on the screen right there. They're about 5 wide through the middle, and Jeff Gordon, Blake Matjoulis making contact, and heavy contact with Blake Matjoulis into the wall. Rylee Knoll nowhere to go, making contact, and that's just a product of racing hard for the transfer and time running down, and drivers getting a little bit, desperation kicking in.
Absolutely. Now we're going to have to see Blake Matjoulis in that LCQ on Wednesday night coming from deep in the field. How about Colton Jordan again? We already sang his praises once. 22nd, now up to 3rd. Brady Thompson runs 4th. Lingron 2nd. Busby your leader. Kendall Tucker now runs the 5th spot for 13th. Swartz is falling back to 6th. Damian Kiefer 7th. Waddell 8th. Tanner Tomasi from 21st to 9th. Robbie Buchanan has rebounded a little bit. He fell out of a transfer spot there for a little while. He runs in 11th. And Chance Carr in 11th with Buchanan in 10th. Ethan Johnson looked like he had some smooth selling to the final transfer spot into Wednesday night's finale. He's going to be under fire again. Double it back up, and anything can happen with 2 laps to go. I think we're going to see a little more than haymakers. We're going to see every single thing thrown at those transfer spots.
Wes, I think Colton Jordan can win this race. He may be the, early candidate for, breakout driver of the 2025 Spring Fling here at Team VLR. But, man, he is just working his way through the field, kind of systematically, and now has a chance to win this race with 3 laps to go. It'll be 2 laps to go when we go green.
Yeah, you got to think as well. If you're in these top, let's say 8 to 10 spots, do you go pretty conservative here? Do you think twice maybe about throwing a slider on the guy in front of you? Yes, it's a better starting spot in the feature event on Wednesday, but the biggest thing is being in the starting lineup on Wednesday night, because $250 or going to an LCQ that you've got to fight 23 other guys just to even make the show. So it's going to be one of those deals. I don't know what you do. Do you stay aggressive? Do you just constantly, stay on the throttle, keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully hold on to a spot, or do you go conservative and just try to hold off the hungry field behind you?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything such as conservative with the talent that we have through the field right now, but nonetheless, coming back to green, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. 12 spots on the line for Wednesday night. Green flag is out, and here we go.
Desmond Busby brings us back to green. Not a good start for Lingron. Colton Jordan goes to the inside. Oh, big slider for 2nd. Thought about the lead as well. As we come to the white flag next time by, who will be your 12 going to the big dance here tonight? Bring us home, Tommy.
Desmond Busby coming around to the white flag. One more trip around. Race for the 12th and final transfer spot right now. Matthew Watts has it. Ethan Stuckwish to the outside looking in, looking to throw the big slider down the back straightaway. Out of turn number 4, it'll be Desmond Busby picking up the win. Here we go. Race for the transfer. Watts in the 11 will have it and pick it up and put himself into the show on Wednesday night. Desmond Busby going to lead the field to the green as your pole sitter from server number 1.
And talking about what a wild race, and that's just our first of 2 of these prelim features. We'll go through your 12 transfers here momentarily. Also talk to, I believe, your top 3. Desmond Busby will win prelim feature at number 1 of the 82 machine. His 2nd prelim feature win in Spring Fling history. Joey Lingron, your defending winner of the event, comes home 2nd. Early race leader Brady Thompson comes home 3rd. Colton Jordan from 22nd to 4th. Craig Swartz, who was your pole sitter and your quick qualifier, comes home 5th. Nathan Waddell holds on to a transfer spot back there in 6th. Damian Kiefer, he had a rough one, but he'll hold on to the 7th finishing spot. Kendall Tucker 8th. Tanner Tomasi from 21st to 9th. Ethan Johnson, even after bringing out a caution flag coming from the back of the pack, come home 10th. Robbie Buchanan and Matthew Watts will round out your transfers from prelim feature number 1. Ethan Stuckwish will start on the pole of the LCQ on Wednesday night. Zach Weisenflute, Braden Donaldson, Chance Carr, Rylee Knoll, Aiden Berlin, Brandon Guys White, Cole McCubbin, complete the top 20, and then rounding out your field, your final finishers in your prelim feature, James Braswell, Blake Matjoulis, and Daniel Elkins. And Tommy, a wild one in the books. We got your top 3 coming down here in just a few moments. We're going to interview them. I'll let you have our winner first, I believe. And man, what a race it was for your whole night. Desmond Busby picks up his second prelim feature victory in Spring Fling history.
Yeah, pretty wild right there. Busby getting the job done. And, man, we just had action all over the speedway. Hard to keep up with it all at the same time. But, man, when you got the 12th and final transfer spot, meaning oh so much, you got to keep your eyes back there as well. But a great drive by Desmond Busby. And we'll go ahead and bring him down into the broadcast booth. Coming from 6th to 1st to pick up the win here in server number 1. Your winner here tonight, Desmond Busby. And Desmond, man, what a drive that was, man. You kind of took the race lead after that restart on lap number 20 and had to fight for it. But you're going to lead the field to the green on Wednesday night for the Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. What's going on your mind right now?
Hey, I'm tore up after that one. I feel pretty good. Like you said there, I started off, I was going to be a little cautious, just try to be clean and, just stick around where I was at because I was already locked in, since they take top 12. But then, the car started to fire. I started feeling good and got up to 3rd there. And I was like just waiting to set up Craig to try to pass him for 2nd. I couldn't do it. And then I got him on that restart there, and I don't know, I just felt good, and I was like, man, we could possibly start racing for the lead, and that's what we started to do, and I didn't think I was really going to hold on like that, but hey, we got her done.
Yeah, like I said, all that restart, talk us through how the track changed and what made you, come to the decision on that restart of where to go and how you made the move.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know, I think I had tried that little wall tap line there, I think one of the restarts, and it honestly wasn't too bad, so I'll try it a few more times, try to get my momentum up, and we just started reeling them in, and I'm like, I'm gonna just commit to this line if I get out front and get to the lead, and just was hoping it held on for me, and it did.
Well, Buzz, you're about to lead the field to the green on Wednesday night and a chance at $7,000. What's the emotions like?
It's wild. I never would have thought, we're going to be starting pole on a $7,000 to win race. It's crazy. And, I'm thankful to be in this position and thank everyone for putting this on, all the sponsors that came on board that put on this event. It's crazy. We're just sitting in our rooms racing for this much money. It's pretty cool.
Well, Des, I know you got a lot of great supporters behind you. Take the moment and thank them.
Yeah, I got to thank Celina 52 for Celina 52 Truck Stop for sponsoring my ticket. Appreciate it. Matjoulis Speed Shop for the setups. They got us dialed. JER, my team. Shout out to my teammate Chance Carr, Jesse Enterkin, all of them. Aces and Eights Customs for the wrap, Brooks Motorsports, you guys for the broadcast, and once again, just everyone who puts this event on. Thank you.
Wes, what you got for our winner?
Hey, Des, what a race there, Busby, as you get your second Prelim victory. So you know how to get this done when it comes to the Spring Fling, but $7,000 is a lot of money. Take us through the racetrack there. We saw you kind of run in the middle early. You went to the top side, and that's where you really got the run to be able to throw a slider for the lead. How did the track change throughout those 40 laps?
Honestly, it's a guessing game because you just never know what Steve Calvoda is just gonna throw at you. He preps in the track in so many different ways, so the lines are just wherever you hope, and you just go around searching. In the beginning, you kind of know where it's gonna start out, like near the bottom a little, and then once that goes away, you're just kind of searching and hoping whatever you find hangs on.
And now we go from 40 laps in this prelim to 100 laps on Wednesday night in the 7,000 win Spring Fling. What's the game plan? Kind of what's going to be the plan with tire wear, and do you go early? Do you take a chance, or do you kind of ride it out? You're going to be the one setting the pace out front, so are you going to try to just get a pretty healthy lead, or are you going to hope for a couple cautions to keep the tires cool?
I don't know. I really haven't thought that far on the game plan, but now that we're setting the pace, I kind of have to. So I don't know. The game plan is probably just go out there, try to conserve as much as I can, but not try to fall back too many positions, because I do want to try and stay out front. Because last time I led, it was the fall frenzy. I started pole, and we might have conserved a little too much, and we dropped back quite a few spots. So maybe we'll go at a little different approach this year and try to stay out front and manage tires as best as I can.
Man, what a race. What a race. Congrats on the win. You're going to be rolling on from the pole on Wednesday night for $7,000. Go celebrate a little bit and get to tested.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's your winner of prelim server number 1, Desmond Busby. Hey, we'll get him back up there, and we'll bring down our second place finisher.
He was asleep on the start.
We'll take Mr. Joey Lingron. Joey, and you won this event a year ago. Going to start on the inside of row number 2. Finish second here at the prelim. Going to lead inside row number 2 on Wednesday night. Talk us through your race and your chances at 7,000 on Wednesday.
From rolling off inside row 2, seems pretty good. I don't know. Car felt good the whole night. Just I kind of got shuffled back there at the start. I think I fell back to 9th at one point or somewhere around there, and I kind of got up on the wheel and tried to make some stuff happen. Got lucky with a few people getting into it with each other. Definitely got lucky with the Ethan and Craig incident. No, it was a good race overall. I haven't really wall tapped like that ever, so I was very surprised. I got to be able to do that. I feel like I was a tad quicker than Dez on the top, because it looked like he was a little tight on the top, but I was able to get it rotated, and I got into my back bumper a little bit. On the replay, I looked at it, and he got a little bit of the fence, so that was a combination of probably both things. But overall, it was a good night for the one camp. I got to thank Matjoulis Speed Shop, Factory 5 Designs for the badass wrap for the fling. Who else do we got on this thing? Sweet Victory Apparel, Tac 3 Defense, Seay High Performance, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, VLR for putting it on, and everybody else that supports me. And yeah, we should be on a good spot for Wednesday.
Wes, what you got for the defending champ?
Man, I got to ask Joey, as you go from last year to kind of surprising everybody, we knew you were fast, but of course you come from the sprint car world, and then you come out there and win the biggest event in late models on the dirt side. To this year, you're not the underdog anymore. You're the guy with the target on his back. How does that feel for you behind the wheel, and knowing that, there was not a ton of pressure, just whatever happened last year happened. This year, everybody wants to beat the one.
No, it's just kind of the same thing as I going in last year. Wherever I finish is where I finish. No really expectations. It'd be nice to win $7,000, but already kind of won $6,000 this year up at the Bigfoot race in real life. So kind of already checked off that box this year. Now I'm just kind of here to have fun. Didn't really have any expectations going into testing this week. Just said screw it. Bought myself a ticket, and now we're here talking to you guys, fine folks. So yeah.
Well, good luck, buddy. You're going to be rolling off from inside row number 2 on Wednesday night for $7,000 and look to become a back-to-back winner of the Spring Fling.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's Joey Lingron, your second place driver. Now we're bringing out our third place driver, and Brady Thompson. And Brady, man, you led the first half of this main event, had a hot rod all night long. Unfortunately, probably not the finish that you wanted, but still sets you up in a good position for Wednesday night. Going to start in the inside of row number 3 and a chance at $7,000. Talk us through your race and your chances on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Came out and qualified good and put myself up for good position for the start of the feature. And my goal is just to get out to the lead early and just ride. And then just those couple cautions got me out of my groove. And then fell back to 4th, but still finished 3rd where I started. So it's not as bad as I thought I was going to into the night. I mean, I was a little nervous, honestly. This shit is nerve-wracking for $7,000 on a simulator, honestly.
Are you going to line, like I said, Wednesday, you're going to line up inside row 3. It's going to be 100 laps instead of 40. How do you pace yourself and, put yourself in position for that $7,000?
Oh, just keep my nose clean and hope to be there at the end. It's just a little bit of luck and a little bit of driving and Ethan Johnson's setup, I guess.
Wes, what you got for our third place finisher?
I want to talk about that. You get the lead early there on the start, and then you have that caution on lap 20, and you get a little shot in the shorts there, and you fall back to the field. Are you thinking, oh no, I'm about to be in this mess, or it's all right, got to continue my composure and hold on because I want to make the show on Wednesday?
Yeah. They said I was blanking a little bit, so Des didn't mean to get into me. And yeah, when that first happened, I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna go back and just be racing with everyone, because you never want to do that in these, because everyone races extremely aggressive because they want to race for 7K. They want to be up front. I mean, and a lot of people in this game don't race with their heads, so.
Well, you were able to hold on, and a great run for you. I mean, you're going to be rolling off from inside row number 3 as we talked to Des, we talked to Joey about it. Pacing yourself, you got to talk about tire wear as well. Are you going to try to push the pace a little bit? We've seen that be a game plan here before, or are you just going to ride?
I don't know yet, honestly. Last year I kind of pushed, and it was different because it was an Eldor and it really was only on the wall, but we'll see what we're going to have to do here. Do a couple 100-lap runs tomorrow and just see what the hell happens.
Well, congrats on the run, buddy. You're going to be rolling off from the 5th starting spot on Wednesday night for $7,000.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Brady Thompson, your 3rd place finisher. I'm going to bring down one more driver, your hard charger of this main event, maybe the breakout driver of the Spring Fling thus far. Colton Jordan, 22nd to 4th man, and you had a shot to win right there at the end. Talk us how you were able to drive through the field like that.
Yeah, I had my good buddy, spotter stick dude, Deisel Jones, tell me, just follow Tanner Tomasi. I did for about 10 or 15 laps. Then I started to move up to the top, and I was just smooth sailing from there.
What did you find to your vantage point that these other drivers didn't? Because, man, you were just picking them off left and right, and Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Night number 1, server number 2, the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling, live on the TeamVLR.com Facebook page. We had to start a brand new stream, brand new server. Same great action as we get ready to crown 12 more drivers into Wednesday night's 100 lap, $7,000 to win main event. My name is Tommy Rowe, up in the booth with Top Camp Super Dirt Series announcer Mr. Wes Gwaltney. And Wes, man, we saw 60 great drivers in server number 1. Great race. We've got 60 more to go here in server number 2.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. You got some big names in each server, and server number 2 is not going to disappoint. We had a lot of storylines from server number 1. We, of course, had another winner in Desmond Busby. He's done it before. He's won some prelim events. Desmond Busby will lead us to green on Wednesday night. Who will start to his outside? We're going to find that out this evening. Who will be joining the 24-car starting field with the possible 25th of the LCQ, and it is do or die. It's all about qualifying coming up next, setting yourself up for a good night. We had the big drive through the field by Colton Jordan in the 83 machine to come home fourth for 22nd. Tanner Tomasi was able to race his way in for 21st. And you had a whole lot of other big names that were able to secure their way in, including defending winner this event, Joey Lingron. But there was tons of chaos. There's a lot of big names who are either going to be running through the LCQ or had their spring fling come to an end. Who will join those drivers? We're about to find out here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Racetrack looking good again. Steve is on it, and it's time for qualifying.
And practice already over with, and qualifying out there underway. These drivers will have a quick 2 minutes to set their best 2 laps around the speedway to get themselves in a great starting position. Starting position's oh so key here in these heat races. You do not want to get yourself back there racing into one of those last chance qualifiers later on this evening. So qualifying, extra important.
Yeah, just the 2 minutes, you don't have a chance to sit and wait around. That's kind of a common trend in iRacing to see where everybody else is running. The first couple laps are about to go up on the clock, and who will set the mark to beat?
And coming around right now, first couple of drivers throwing down some times. Turner Knuckles on top of the leaderboard early on, 15:31. That's a name you don't hear very often. As I say that, Caleb Durgan will go to the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, Caleb Durgan, one of those big names that we expected to run good in this event. 15:040, looking to follow in the footsteps of Craig Swartz, who won his heat race, rolled off in the pole, and transferred his way in to Wednesday night. Jordan Casey back in the mix. Drew Johnman, there's a new name atop the board. He's up at the third. Lucas Ruark, Evan Seay back there in fifth, the former Spring Fling winner.
So just about 30 seconds left to go. The driver's trying to knock off Caleb Durgan right now. Who's quick time on top of the leaderboards. Flying Carrot, Logan Rumsey up to position number 2. Jordan Casey, Drew Johnson. And we have a couple of drivers up there towards the top 5 now. Brent Evans goes to second quick with a 15:051. Hayden Tollison, the Kosciuszko, Mississippi driver, up to third. Connor New, Dylan Wilson, Kool-Aid Man inside the top 5.
Hayden Tollison looking to make his life a little bit easier than it was last year as he came home second to Joey Lingron in that finale as he came from 20th to second in the final rundown. Right now would start on the pole of heat race number 3. The last few seconds of qualifying wrapping up, and Caleb Durgan goes quick time by just 1/1000th of a second over Brent Evans.
So heat race number 1 is set. Like you said, Caleb Durgan will set quick time. This is how they'll line up for heat race number 1. On the pole, that'll be Caleb Durgan to the outside at 41. That'll be Logan Rumsey. Row number 2 on the inside will be the 33, the race for the fling runner, Hunter Rich. To the outside, Clayton Cluwell. Turner Knuckles, Devin Ferguson. At row number 3, Kyle Brennan, Christopher Bledsoe. At row number 4, Dalton DeWert, Cooper Accord. At row number 5, and your 6th and final row on the inside will be Dylan Proctor and Dylan Yeager. On the outside of row number 6, that's an expected name you don't expect to see back there.
Absolutely. Dylan Yeager is going to have some work cut out for him as he rolls off from outside row number 6 in this one. You know, you mentioned Cooper Accord. I was looking at some of the entries here for server number 2, and there's a lot of drivers from West Virginia, of all places, as well as Kentucky. Cooper Accord coming from Beckley, West Virginia, in his Meadows collision. That car, Cooper Accord Racing, number 59 machine. Keep an eye on him coming back to back. Of course, Logan Rumsey, we know how good he is. And Hunter Rich, one of those, he was kind of a surprise winner, as we mentioned. Rylee Knoll led much of the early part of the feature event of the Race to the Fling on Lernerville. Hunter Rich able to make an aggressive move, coming from back in the pack a little bit to pick up that victory and a little bit of money in his pocket as well. So going to be interesting to keep an eye on Hunter Rich rolling off from third, but Caleb Durgan going to bring us to green from the pole position in heat race number 1.
Looks like we're going to pace them around one more time. Give you the full rundown of the order here tonight. Going to have 5 heat races, 8 laps the distance in each. Top 4 going to transfer from each one of those heat races to prelim main event number 2. The rest of these drivers will have to come from the alphabet soup, D, C, or B. The top 4 will transfer from each one of those. And then the top 12 will lock themselves to the outside starting positions. And Wednesday night's 100 laps, $7,000 to win main event as the pace truck making that hard. Left-hand turn into the infield. It'll be Caleb Durgan, tonight's Quick Time Award winner, alongside the Flying Carrot Logan Rumsey. Row number 1, coming to green, heat race number 1, server number 2 is underway.
Durgan going to take us in turns 1 and 2. Much better start from the outside of row 1 there for Rumsey than we have seen. We're already 3 wide back there for second. On the outside, here comes Clayton Cleatwell in that bright yellow machine. Going to bang doors with Hunter Rich. Give lap number 1, though, to Caleb Durgan around the bottom of the speedway.
Yeah, Durgan's looking good early on. Logan Rumsey back there hanging on to second. They're side by side for third and fourth right now. Hunter Rich on the bottom of the speedway. That is Clayton Cleatwell on the outside with Devin Ferguson on the outside looking in. And here comes the 39th Kyle Brennan trying to throw his hat in the picture as well. But Durgan coming around to lead another lap.
How about Dylan Yeager? Started shotgun on the field in 12th. Already have 3 positions in just 2 laps in this one. He's looking for more as they really start to ramp up that battle for the transfer spots. Rich got a little bit of breathing room, just a couple car lengths over Cleatwell. Ferguson back there on the outside looking in. Knuckles trying to get his feet under him. Christopher Bledsoe, now Dylan Yeager battling for 8th.
Yeah, Yeager working tiptoed around the bottom of the speedway. Everybody else pretty much up on the outside, up against the wall, down the back straightaway. Yeager just trying to go where everybody else isn't right now. As we'll come around over halfway home, 4 down, 4 remaining. Durgan on the bottom of the speedway, but Rumsey's got it gassed up on the outside, kind of running him down. He was faster last time by.
Yeah, the battle for the lead starting to ramp up. Rumsey on the top side, Durgan just taking it low and slow around the Ute tires. Those things will jump out and get you. And let me tell you, Ute tires are undefeated no matter what form of motorsport it is in. Durgan able to hit the grip once again, rocket off the bottom of the speedway. Rumsey looks to his outside. Still keeping an eye on the battle for the final transfer spot. Rich has third. Here comes Cleatwell. Here comes Knuckles trying to get the both of them. He rolls to the bottom of the racetrack with 2 to go.
Yeah, Devin Ferguson right there as well. They're 3 wide for that third and final transfer. And here comes Cleatwell on the outside. Knuckles through the middle. Couldn't quite make it happen. Cleatwell will hang on to third as they'll come around. White flag is out. Logan Rumsey to the point. Durgan back to second. One more trip around, Wes.
Durgan has to put down a perfect lap. Rumsey going to rock over on the top side once again down the back straightaway, about a car length between your top 2. Rumsey goes to the slider line, enters in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He will lead us to green at prelim number 2 feature tonight. Durgan comes home second. Third will go to Hunter Rich, and watch the battle for the final transfer spot. Clayton Cleatwell will hold on as Tanner Knuckles comes home in the 5th position. Devin Ferguson, Christopher Bledsoe, Dylan Yeager, your top 8. Cooper Cord, Dalton DeWert, Kyle Brennan, and Dylan Proctor round out your field from heat race number 1.
A good race to start server number 2, heat race number 1. We got 4 more heat races remaining. Heat race number 2 getting ready to grid up on the speedway. And Wes, you got the starting lineup.
Man, this one's going to be a dandy of a heat race. Heat race number 2 will be led to green by Brent Evans in the 101 machine. He'll be flanked by the 42. A stalwart in VLR events, that's Jordan Casey to his outside. Inside row number 2, you can get it done in a modified Sportsman in Mississippi. He'll look to get it done here on iRacing tonight. D's Price out of Alabama will make up inside row number 2 in the 117 with Devin Howard in the 316 to his outside. Anthony Moreno in that FTM number 32 will be inside row number 3, flanked by Jennifer McClellan in the 120 machine. Braden Carter going to have some work to do. He'll start inside row number 4. Grady Ehrman, a qualifier during the Gobbler, will start outside row number 4 in the 8th position. Dustin Glenn, Brent Hart in row number 5. Derek Darnell and Brady Lilly round out the field for heat race number 2.
So Brent Evans on the inside of row number 1 alongside Jordan Casey. He's picked up a couple of big VLR wins in his career. Looking for a big Spring Fling win here in 2025. That's your front row. D's Price, Devin Howard. A couple of names you don't call too often here at VLR. In row number 2, Anthony Moreno, Jennifer McClellan back there in row number 3. As well, looks like we'll go green next time by.
Going to be interesting to see how this field plays out. We saw the top 3 really get spaced out a little bit. The battle for the transfer spot never really heated up as much. Everybody was minding their P's and Q's, at least for heat race number 1. I feel like that'll probably change as we travel throughout these next few heat races, especially in the hooligan races. Steve's Price will roll off from inside row number 2. He's going to look for a shot at his first VLR win. Right now, it's Brent Evans bringing us to green.
And here we go. Green flag is out, and Evans with a great start right there. Going to pace him down the front straightaway. It'll be Casey to the bottom. He'll fall back to second momentarily as they will go side by side for second down the back straightaway with Evans out in front coming around to lead lap number 1.
Casey returns the favor in the 117 machine. He's going to slide right up in front of the Alabama driver for the second spot. And let me tell you, Brent Evans looking to check out in a hurry. Another big slider by the 117. Here comes Jordan Casey back there for third. Watching Grady Ehrman. Now he's in the footsteps of the 316 of Devin Howard. Howard takes a peek at the inside of Price for third. Right now on the outside looking in is the 43 machine.
Yeah, Grady Ehrman's already charged up 3 spots from 8th to 5th on the outside looking in. He's got 1 more spot to get himself into the dance, or have to set himself up for a B main right now, all over the back bumper of Howard on the front straightaway. 4 down, or 3 down, 5 remaining here in heat race number 2.
Enter the chat, Braden Carter in the 92 machine. They go 3 wide back there. Carter nearly gets into the door of Howard, decides to get on the binders a little bit, not to make contact with the FTM 316 machine. Ehrman still on the outside looking in. Also joining the mix, Brandon Barnhart gained 2 positions that last time by. Barnhart from 10th to 5th here in the first half of this one.
Yeah, Braden Carter in the 92 car making a little contact with a couple of drivers right there. And here we go, race for the transfer, heating up once again. Grady Ehrman has it in the 43 car. And now they're side by side behind him for 5th, almost 3 wide back there for 6th now.
Braden Carter now going to have to get on his high horse, try to catch Ehrman in the 43 machine. Back through the pack, Moreno trying to battle back. He's going to go a big slider for this 6th spot from Dustin Glenn. Glenn going to return the favor into turns 1 and 2. Carter has found the back bumper of the 43 as we come to the white flag next time by.
White flag is out. Little race heating up for the lead as Brent Evans has it. Jordan Casey closing the distance. He'll go to turn number 1 and 2. Throw the slider. Not quite. He'll back out of it. And Evans will hang on to it down the back straightaway. Casey back to second as Dees Price in third. And race for the transfer at the line. Grady Ehrman going to go 8th to 4th to pick it up.
Yeah, Braden Carter ends up on the outside looking in. Behind him in the 6th spot, Dustin Glenn. Moreno 7th. McClellan 8th. Barnhart 9th, Darnell 10th, Lilly 11th, and Howard rounds out the field as his night comes to a close. We got 4 more transfers in the show. Britt Evans wins heat race number 2. Jordan Casey 2nd, Dees Price 3rd, Grady Ehrman all heading to the big show here tonight with heat race number 3 heads to the staging area.
Heat race number 3 written up right now. This is how they'll line up on the front row pole. On the inside, the 327. It'll be Hayden Tollison to the outside. Drew Jonkman in the 21. Jesse Enterkin in car number 25 on the inside of row number 2 to the outside. Mario Perez. Stephen Gaines in the 07 alongside Joseph Grandy will make up inside outside row number 3. Row number 4 will be the 2 car. Brady Cornett to the outside. Ryder English in 96. Tyler Kleeman and Travis Anderson in row number 5. And shotgun on the field all back there by himself will be Colin Green in 52. 11 drivers, 8 laps to distance once again. Only 4 spots up for grabs. The rest will have to come from the alphabet soup coming up here in just a little bit.
We mentioned Hayden Tollison, the runner-up in this event 1 year ago behind Joey Lingron. Set himself up at least a little bit better so far on the night, changing the wrap a little bit, going blue instead of black like we saw him last year, the 327 machine. Drew Jonkman, good qualifying effort for him. Jesse Enterkin, he made the starting field 1 year ago as well. Out of Milton, Florida, Mario Perez. Man, keep an eye on the Lizard King back there in that 111 machine. He's going to be one to watch rolling from outside row number 2.
Yeah, a lot of great drivers through the field here in heat race number 3. Got 2 more coming up after this one. They go by very, very quickly here at Team VLR. Then we'll get into those D, C, and B mains, and that's where all the good stuff will happen coming up here in just a moment. But Tollison, Jonkman, your front row getting ready to rack them and stack them down the back, coming to green.
Another driver I'm really watching here in this heat race is Joseph Grandy. I've ran with him quite a bit over the last couple of years, and he continues to get faster and faster each year, and jumped to the super late model and showed a ton of speed over the last couple of months.
Green flag is out. We are underway. Tollison with a great jump. He'll lead him down into turn number 1 and 2. Enterkin on the bottom of the speedway already up to second. Jonkman on the outside fighting back in. Stephen Gaines in the 07 holding down the 4th and final transfer. It'll be Tollison coming around on lap number 1.
4-car breakaway out front. They're going to start duking it out. Things going to start tightening up a little bit behind him as we go nearly 3 wide down the back straightaway. Enterkin nearly got into Jonkman for the 2nd spot. That's going to push Stephen Gaines on out. Big slider by Enterkin. Just got into the 21 of Jonkman, and that is a tough move. Enterkin likely going to see the EOL and a heat race come to an end
All right, dare to say it, Wes. The 21 of Jonkman is Junkman. That is
for sure a hard leg there. As
race number 3.
That was a not clear by a lot.
Contact with the 25, and Enterkin will get the end of line penalty. Fortunately, only 2 laps in the book, so you'll have 6 laps to try to make it up. But man, you put yourself in a big hole after starting inside row 2, having a shot in 25.
Yeah, so tough way for Enterkin's heat race to end. He will pull to the end. I believe it's a 1 caution rule, 1 ELL rule here in these heat races. So I think Enterkin's heat race is over. Now he'll have to start deep in a consolation event later on here tonight. Stephen Gaines now going to move up to the 2nd spot. That puts Mario Perez back into a transfer position with Ryder English as well, behind your leader of Hayden Tollison.
I'll pace them around one more time, doubling them back up. Got 8 drivers still rolling around of 11, so we got 3 off the speedway, including Enterkin, Jonkman off the speedway, and Colin Green as well. So 8 of the 11 still remaining. 2 laps on the board. Pacing down the back straightaway. Should be coming back to green this time by.
So just 8 cars remain on the speedway in this one after that calamity a few moments ago. So it'll be Tollison with control of the field. Still be 6 laps to decide your 4 transfers here from heat race at number 3. Still 2 more heats to go. Tollison will stand on the loud throttle, and here we go, back underway.
Green flag is out, and Tollison going to once again pace him down into turn number 1 and 2. Ryder English in the 96 car up to the 4th and final transfer, but here comes Brady Cornett on the bottom. Now race for the lead, heating up. Stephen Gaines trying to throw the slider. Didn't quite have the stickum to make it happen. Now he may lose some spots.
Yeah, just kind of Tyler Clemens had a great run going, got in the back bumper of Stephen Gaines. That's going to cost him the 4th and final transfer spot. Is Travis Anderson in the mix, along with Brady Cornett going side by side with Ryder English. Cornett had the spot at least the last time by, but rocking around the top side, English back and forth.
Yeah, English started 8th in this heat race. Has worked his way up to the 4th and final transfer, but Brady Cornett putting the pressure on, trying to throw the big slider. But I don't know if the bottom is quite there just yet, as all these drivers pacing around the wall here at the dirt track at Charlotte, as we have 5 laps in, 3 remaining.
This one continues to be the Hayden Tollison show out front. He's opened up that gap to 6/10 of a second as Mario Perez throws the slider there on Stephen Gaines for the 2nd position. Perez going to cross him back over. Those 3 cars duke it out for the 2nd spot. They're going to bring the Brady Cornett right there with him. Cornett is just kind of staying on the back bumper, letting those guys duke it out, slow their roll, and right now he's looking for an opening to try to get one of them transfer spots.
White flag is out for the Mississippi driver Hayden Tollison, who stretched his lead out. Meanwhile, race for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and even 5th back here, still well up for grabs down the back straightaway. Tollison going to turn number 3 and 4, picking up with ease. Gaines in 2nd. And now we have a race for the transfers. Cornett will go to 3rd, and Perez going to pick up the 4th and final transfer. That got pretty interesting and wild right there at the end.
Yeah, Brady Cornett actually entered turn number 1 on that final lap in the 5th spot and do a slider and 3 and 4, and somehow able to make things stick. Come home with 3rd. He will move on to tonight's feature event as your 4 transfers: Hayden Tollison, Stephen Gaines, Brady Cornett, Mario Perez, as we head to heat race number 4 coming up.
Cornett, great drive, 7th to 3rd right there. And heat race number 4, gridding up on the speedway. And Wes, you got the lineup.
You got the 10 car of Connor New going to lead us to green in this one. He'll be flanked by Lucas Ruark. And to his outside, Deisel Jones will be inside row number 2 with Matthew Selby, another one of those VLR stalwarts in the 46 machine. Chase Stewart will start on the outside looking in, inside row number 3, flanked by Zachary Metzner. And inside row number 4, it's a driver out of Kentucky, Walton, Kentucky's 124, Brandon Bolton. Frankie Thompson to his outside, Nick Roberts, Zach Leonardi back there in row number 5, and David Allen complete your 11-car field for heat race number 4.
Well, here we go. Heat race number 4 of 5. Only one more coming up after this one, and then all the heat race for the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling will be in the books. Couple of drivers. Connor New, he was a breakout driver at Team VLR a couple of years ago. Not such a breakout anymore. Going to start alongside Lucas Rourke. Now make up row number 1, Deisel Jones. Talked about him earlier in the first broadcast as the coach for Colton Jones. Going to start on the inside of row number 2 alongside Matthew Selby. So interesting first 2 rows here in heat race number 4.
Absolutely. You got a lot of speed back through the pack as well. I mean, Zachary Meister's gotten faster and faster throughout the last couple of months on iRacing as well. Brandon Bolden, he's always been one of those big names you see in all these VLR events. Frankie Thompson. Of course, Zach Leonardi rolling off all the way from back there in the 10th starting spot. Keep an eye on the 24 machine in this one as we'll go green next time by.
Give a shout out to Zachary Metzner back there. He's been racing the Spring Flings for a very long time himself, all the way back to the dirt track racing 2 days. For the driver of the 17 back there. But should be pretty interesting as we're pacing down the back straightaway. Pace truck making that hard left-hand turn to the infield. And it'll be Connor New, Lucas Rourke, going to lead the field to the green this time.
Connor New will set the pace, fire off in turns 3 and 4. 3 heat races in the books. Time to get heat race number 4 to green. And here we go.
And it will be the dude, Connor New, out in front, pulling away down the back straightaway. Lucas Rourke not letting him get too far, though, in 5, side by side for the lead into turn number 3 and 4. Rourke will throw the slider, cross over the nose, and he'll lead lap number 1.
Connor New and Lucas Rourke duking it out for the top spot. Brandon Bolton trying to get the bottom working as Selby works around the top for the 3rd position. Bolton looking for the 4th and final transfer spot. Down the back straightaway around Chase Stewart. Thought about the slider. He'll try to drift up to the grip. Nearly got up on the nose of Chase Stewart. Here comes Frankie Thompson to mix in that purple 1.
Yeah, race for the lead heating up once again as well. New Hill race down the back straightaway, pull ahead of Rourke once again into turn number 3 and 4. Rourke back to 2nd, and Selby in 3rd. Brandon Bolton holding down the 4th and final transfer with Chase Stewart, Frankie Thompson in pursuit.
Brandon Bolton got a little bit of breathing room there. Frankie Thompson meeting the back bumper of Chase Stewart there in the battle for the 5th spot. That's going to leave even more room for the 24 machine. Big slider back through the pack. I believe that was back there for 6th. A lot of contact as the battle for the lead continues to heat up. Now, Connor New down the back straightaway, about a half a car length advantage. Selby gets in the vents. Here comes Bolton for the 3rd spot.
And race for the lead still really, really good. Big slider back there from Bolton over the nose of Selby. Selby tries to turn it down the hill in the front straightaway. He'll throw the slider himself into turn number 1 and 2. Meanwhile, sliders for the lead being thrown as well as New will cross over Rourke once again and regain the lead down the back straightaway. Coming around, twin sticks are out. 2 more trips around heat race number 4.
Chase Stewart's got new life again. Selby and Bolton throwing these haymakers at each other has allowed Stewart to catch up. Big slider there by Selby on the nose of Bolton. Both of these drivers are in the show. Boys, you don't have to race this hard. You've been making the prelim feature. Bolton feeds it back to Selby. They're going to bang doors as we come to 2 to go.
Actually, the white flag is out. Connor New working down the back straightaway. One final time. Rourke in 2nd. Then it's Bolton in 3rd with Selby in 4th. Selby going to try to put the pressure for 3rd, but it's Connor New picking up the win. Heat racing number 4.
Wow. As Chase Stewart had a chance there for the final transfer spot, and as Selby and Bolton were duking it out, Stewart got into the Uke tire in turn number 1, and he goes from being just barely on the outside looking in with a chance to make the show. He comes home 10th as New, Ruark, Bolton, and Selby, your 4 transfers from heat race number 4. Meitzner, Leonardi, Allen, Roberts, Thompson, and Chase Stewart with Deisel Jones round out your field of heat race number 4. 5th and final heat race coming to the racetrack. Tommy, how are they going to look?
All right, getting ready to go. Heat race number 5. Final heat race of the season for the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. And what a barn burner we have here in heat race number 5. On the front row pole on the inside in the 80 car, it'll be the Kool-Aid Man, Dylan Wilson. To the outside, Evan Seay in 33. Number 2 on the inside. And number 14 will be J.D. Brown. To the outside in the 07, that'll be Tyler Bickford. Keith Hackney will make up the inside of row number 3 and car number 69 to the outside. Tyler Riddell, RJ Miller, Landon Newman inside outside row number 4. Darren Little and Trevor Giro in row number 5 and Logan Wentz all back there in row number 6. And what a stacked heat race number 5 we have right here, Wes.
Is this the Wednesday night feature? I mean, Dylan Wilson, Evan Seay on the front row of a heat race. That one already is going to be enough for the price of admission, which is completely free. Watching live on the VLR Facebook page. J.D. Brown back there in the 3rd spot. Keith Hackney going to be rolling off from 5th. Keep an eye on the 69 machine. Driver out of South Carolina. And you got Riddle, Bickford, Newman. J. Darren Literal. I mean, he has been a stalwart here on iRacing since the dirt days started. He's coming back from the back of the pack. Keep an eye on the 68 machine.
Yeah, Literal's been doing this a long, long time, so even though he's starting back there towards the back, he's a veteran of this Spring Fling, so keep your eyes out on that machine as well. But this front row, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch here. Evan Seay, Dylan Wilson on the front row. These two drivers have both won their fair share of big-time races at Team VLR as they pace down the back straightaway. One final time. Heat racing number 5, server number 2, Wilson Seay. Green flag is out.
Dylan Wilson going to have the early edge. So far, so good down the front straightaway. Wilson with the top spot. J.D. Brown back there looking to the inside of Evan Seay for the second position. They'll go side by side. J.D. Brown with a big head of steam. May look for the lead here in 3 and 4. The California racer pulls to the door of Dylan Wilson. Dylan Wilson will lead lap number 1 in the 80, and Seay back around the 14 of Brown.
Yeah, Seay fighting back as well. He'll go to the bottom of the speedway, take a peek at the race lead of Dylan Wilson. He'll take it down the back straightaway. But Seay will regain second, Brown back to third. It's Tyler Bickford back there in fourth, right behind him. Hackney and Newman side by side for a moment. As Hackney one spot out, he'll take a peek for fourth out of turn number 2. Doesn't quite have the run just yet. Meanwhile, race for the lead, heating up once again. Here comes Seay.
Big contact there between Bickford and Brown for the third spot has allowed Hackney to close back in. Evan Seay's been rolling the bottom of the racetrack for the first 3 laps of this one. You got 4 cars for 2 transfer spots. Here comes J.D. Brown with the run on the outside. Here comes the battle for the lead. Evan Seay got a run on the 80 of Dylan Wilson. They go side by side in turns 3 and 4. How many times have we seen this in VLR action? 4 in, 4 to go in race number 5.
I'll tell you what, Keith Hackney just threw it from Charlotte all the way to maybe, West Virginia in that 69 machine back there, up to 4th, from 6th to 4th with that big Hail Mary slider in curve 69. But meanwhile, race for the lead still up there. It's Wilson on the outside. Here comes Seay with a slider in turn number 2.
Big slider going to be thrown back on Hackney, as well as he'll make contact with the wall. Dylan Wilson takes the top spot back away from Evan Seay. Battle for the final transfer spot. The top 3 has pretty well separated themselves. Wilson gets a little bit of breathing room from Evan Seay in the 33 machine with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Keith Hackney has kind of pulled away just a little bit. Landon Newman, Tyler Bickford throwing down the back straightaway. As one more trip around, white flag will be displayed for the Kool-Aid man, Dylan Wilson.
Dylan Wilson going to take us to turns 1 and 2. Evan Seay going to try to stick to the bottom of the racetrack where he's been oh so good. He closes in a couple car links here as he have one last chance to the inside of Dylan Wilson. Wilson going to take the slider line away. Seay going to try to keep it in the grip. But Dylan Wilson win. He raced number 5. Evan Seay second. J.D. Brown third. And Keith Hackney grabs the 4th final transfer spot.
Landon Newman will come up 1 spot short in 5th. Tyler Bickford 6th. Trevor Giro 7th. Tanner Rydell
events, but only the top 4 transfer to the next alphabet soup.
And now the heats are done, and Wes, this is where desperation kicks in, and you never know what you're going to see in one of these last chance qualifiers as drivers get desperate and try to get their way through the field. And what are you expected to see here in this team main?
Utter chaos. That's kind of what we get from the lower mains, the hooligan races, as Ross would call them over there in Mississippi. It gets wild as Drew Jongman, man, he's hoping for the most calm D main of all time, because he was in a perfect spot in his heat race until it wasn't. So you got some big names coming back from this one. Jesse Innerkin going to start outside row number 3 after that mishap in his heat race. Chase Stewart, Darren Literal. This one could be good. Don't forget either. Colin Green, Deisel Jones coming from the back of the pack.
Well, coming to green, D main, server number 2. Top 4 move on to the C. 10 laps to distance. Green flag is out. Junkman wasted no time. Going to pull out to the race lead, lead them down into turn 1 and 2. Frankie Thompson, RJ Miller go side by side for second. And here comes the 82 of DeWert on the outside with Darnell on the inside. Racing hard for the 4th and final transfer. And here comes Entrican through the middle.
Darnell there took the conservative route, decided to roll out of it and went to the bottom of the speedway instead of making a 3 wide. It's worked out. He's into a transfer spot for now as Enterkin makes contact with DeWert around the outside, though. RJ Miller up to third. Chase Stewart to the inside of Darnell for the 4th position. And here comes old Gatorade Jesse Enterkin to the outside of the 86.
Jonkman hanging on to the race lead. It's Frankie Thompson comfortably in 1 and 2. After that, it's anybody's ball game. Right now, RJ Miller in the 3rd spot, and they are just throwing haymakers back here for the 4th and final transfer. Enterkin to the outside to 4th, just about 3 wide. How about 4 wide for 3rd?
Oh my, getting busy back there for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th position. Jesse Enterkin, he says, I want out of this mess. He's going to throw a slider now on RJ Miller for the 3rd spot. They make contact, but Enterkin and Miller are going to be able to separate themselves right there together. You have 8 cars, all of them on the outside looking in, and it is getting nasty back through the pack.
Enterkin still in 3rd, and it's RJ Miller in 4th, pushing hard for 3rd now. May want to settle in line. Not sure if you want to race too hard if you're in the transfer spot. Meanwhile, Brennan and DeWert both on the outside looking in, throwing down. DeWert on the outside, full head of steam. He'll take over 5th down the back straightaway.
Chase Stewart trying to get his feet back under him as Thompson's got company now from the 25 of Jesse Enterkin for the 3rd spot. RJ Miller in the 4th and final transfer spot. But behind him, here comes DeWert. Here comes Chase Stewart. Here comes Kyle Brennan into the mix. 4 cars duke it out for the final transfer position with 3 to go.
Andrew Jonkman coming around to lead another lap comfortably out in front. Frankie Thompson in 2nd, Enterkin 3rd. RJ Miller holding down the 4th and final transfer. Brennan has found his way up to 5th. Can he run down Miller for 4th now? 2 trips around next time by.
And the absolute back and forth battle back through the pack has allowed RJ Miller to get a little bit of breathing room back there from the cars trying to track him down for the final transfer position. Deisel Jones has been on the move from the back of the pack up to 7th. Now big slider back there for 6th. Enterkin doesn't have to push the issue as there's just 1 more lap to go here in D-main action.
White flag is out for Jonkman down the back straightaway. Enterkin and Thompson now racing hard for 2nd down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Jonkman going to pick up the win. Race for 2nd at the line. Give it to Enterkin. Thompson to 3rd. And RJ Miller going to pick up the 4th and final transfer at the line coming across sideways.
Man, what a finish to that one. RJ Miller holds on the 4th and final transfer spot. Jonkman, Enterkin, and Thompson moving on as well. Kyle Brennan comes home 5th. Dalton DeWert 6th. Deisel Jones a little bit short from 12th to 7th. As rounding out the field was Darnell Stewart, literal your top 10, Proctor, Lilly, Green, and Wentz rounding out the field with the C-main next on tap. How are they going to look there, Tommy?
15 more drivers on top 4. We'll move over to the B main. Row number 1 on the inside. Number 32 to be Anthony Moreno to the outside. The 45, it's Travis Anderson. David Allen in 94 to the inside of row number 2 to the outside. Trevor Giro in 75. Dylan Yeager will be in the 48 car to the inside of row number 3 to the outside. The 170 is Jennifer McClellan. The 4th row back to the inside. It'll be Joseph Grandy in the 518 to the outside. And number 23 will be Nick Roberts. Tanner Rydell in 56, Cooper Accord in row number 5, Brendan Barnhart, Drew Jonkman in row number 6. Row number 7 will be Jesse Enterkin, Frankie Thompson, and RJ Miller. Shotgun on the field here in the C main. Once again, it'll move up 2 laps, so it'll be 12 laps to distance. It'll move up 2 laps until the main event, so the B main will be 14. But nonetheless, racked and stacked, ready to go on the back straightaway. Going to pace them around 1 more time. Moreno, Anderson, your front row.
Yeah, things just get more difficult from here, as we mentioned. Dylan Yeager, who had to come from deep in his heat race, still going to be starting on the outside of a transfer spot back there in 5th. But, I mean, you have Enterkin, who just raced his way to 2nd in that D-main. He's going to be rolling off from 13th in this one. RJ Miller, Frankie Thompson, Drew Jonkman, they're going to have their work cut out for them. It's going to be tough. Just 12 laps to get to one of those 4 transfer positions. Everybody else, your night has come to an end, and your spring fling has come to an end. Who's going to join that mix, and who's going to keep their hopes alive?
Pacing down the back straightaway for the final time. Pace truck making that hard left-hand turn to the infield. It'll be up to Moreno at 32. Anderson in 45, your front row. 12 laps to distance. Top 4 going to move on. Green flag is out, and here we go. Moreno on the gas, going to lead him down the front straightaway.
Moreno going to have the early edge. He'll roll to the top side in turns 1 and 2. We're stair-stepping 3 wide back there as the 45 of Travis Anderson right there with him. Big contact. Anderson gets turned around in turn number 3, and this is going to be a melee from there. Anderson gets absolutely stuffed in the fence after making contact with one of the cars coming through. Oh, mercy. Not the way you want to start these C main. It's called the hooligan races for a reason. That one got out of hand in a hurry.
Yeah, just a lot of contact right there. May have started. Take a look here on my end. David Allen Coe getting into the 45 car of Travis Anderson, and all kinds of mayhem happening after that one. So tough break for all the drivers involved there.
Yeah, so no laps were completed. We'll see how the restart plays out here in C-Main action. You really hate that for Travis Anderson to start on the outside of row number 1. David Allen, who was the 194 that got into him, as he'll actually receive the EOL, so he was going to be in a transfer spot. He will now be on the outside looking in from the back of the pack. Dylan Yeager will be one of the lucky ones, as he will move on one of those top 4 starting spots.
So only 1 lap on the board. If you even call it a lap there, we'll Stephen Calavoda dishing out some end-of-line penalties, and David Allen Coe going to have to go to the tail end of the field. It's just David Allen, but David Allen Coe sounds better. He'll have to go to the tail end of the field. It'll be Anthony Moreno, Trevor Giro. Your front row now. Giro starting the outside of row number 2. Going to move up to the front row.
Yeah, we're going to rack them and stack them, try this all over again. Take 2 here on C-Main action. Anthony Moreno out front. Now he will be flanked by the 75 of Trevor Giro and Dylan Yeager inside of row number 2. Things really all mashed up here on the starting lineup. After our initial lineup, Jesse Enterkin going to move up several positions. He's going to roll off from 9th now as we try this one again.
Coming back to green here in the C-Main, 12 laps to distance, 1 already on the board. Moreno back on the gas. We are backing away. Giro and Yeager. Here comes the Yeager bomb on the bottom of the speedway, already up to 2nd. Can he go to the lead? Yes, he will. Dylan Yeager from 5th to the race lead. Moreno fighting back on the outside, though.
At the line, Dylan Yeager will give it lead at lap number 2, technically, in that one. Oh, we got one into the Ute tire. We are beating and banging back. In fact, Jesse Enterkin already battling for the 5th position. Your top 4 starter breakaway. Big slider by Trevor Giro for the 2nd spot. A little 2 for 1. Moreno 3 wide with, I believe that's Joseph Grandy in the mix as well back there as they head into turns 1 and 2. 3 laps complete. Still 9 laps to go here in C-Main action.
Top 4 kind of pulled away from everybody right now. Grandy from 7th up to 2nd right now, up 5 spots. Yeager from 5th to the race lead. Giro back to 3rd, the 75, looking for 2nd on the bottom of the speedway. And that's Moreno still on the outside, started on the front row. Now holding down the 4th and final transfer with Enterkin Jockman on the outside looking in. They came from the Demon.
They did. As here comes Jesse Enterkin, here comes Drew Jongman to the 21 machine, 25 on the move. And because Grandy and Moreno and Giro have been fighting all this time, Enterkin has closed the gap nearly half the distance it was just a couple laps ago. Jongman coming right there with him. And you battle this hard, one wrong move, and your Spring Fling could be over. 6 laps complete, 6 laps to go. Here's another big slider by Moreno. Here's Grandy with the crossover, and Jesse Enterkin is right there for 4th.
Enterkin has his sights set on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. These drivers racing 3 wide. That has allowed Enterkin and Jockman and Frankie Thompson to make their way through the field. The challenge for the transfer move. Enterkin up to 4th now.
Drew Johnson going to try to make the move and smell blood in the water around Trevor Giro for the 5th position. The A-Bang doors continue on. Frankie Thompson, think about the big slider, a little 2 for 1 and 1 and 2. Yes, sir. He'll slide to the 5th spot at least for now. Grandy's got company. Enterkin up top. Grandy on the bottom. Moreno somehow still in 2nd. Jonkman another 2 for 1 slider back there.
Oh, all kinds of action getting thrown here at the dirt track at Charlotte, here in the C-Main. 3 wide once again, just about for 2nd out of turn number 2. That's Moreno fighting back on the outside, back to 2nd. Now Grandy back to 4th. Here comes Enterkin with a slider of his own. Move Enterkin up to P2, up 11 spots.
You would think the battle for 5th is for the $7,000 right now. There's a slider through the infield from Trevor Giro, Jonkman, and Thompson duking it out as well. Your top 4 transfers, your leader, Dylan Yeager, is gone. He has checked out as he sees the white flag first. From there, Enterkin from the D-Main has made it up from 13th to 2nd, Grandy 3rd, and Moreno 4th. He's got some breathing room coming to the checker.
And at turn number 3 and 4, one final time. Dylan Yeager going to go from the C to the B, up 5 spots. Enterkin from the D to the B, up 11 spots to 2nd. Joseph Grandy into the B main to 3rd. And Anthony Moreno somehow hangs on to the 4th and final transfer. That got pretty wild.
It did. I mean, you had some big names there that had to race their way in, and all of them did. Jaeger, Enterkin, Grandy, and Moreno moving on to the B main, rounding out the field. Jockman, he sees his Spring Fling come to a close, comes home 5th. Thompson 6th, Garreau 7th, Accord 8th, RJ Miller 9th, McClellan 10th, Barnhart, Riddell, Roberts, Anderson, and Allen complete the field from the C main as the B main now heads to the staging area.
All right, B main. One more last chance for these drivers here in the B main to move themselves into the Prelim. Server number 2 main event here tonight. Top 4 will move on. And Wes, you got the starting lineup.
Turner Knuckles going to be leading us to green from the pole position here in the B main, flanked by Braden Carter in that 92 machine. Keep an eye on the iRacing Champions League driver. Ryder English will start inside row number 2. As you mentioned, longtime VLR driver Zachary Metzner in the 17 to his outside. Landon Newman, Devin Ferguson back there in row number 3. We now head to row number 4 where you find Dustin Glenn and the 97 machine of Tyler Clement. Zach Leonardi, Tyler Bigford will wake up row number 5. Christopher Bledsoe and your B main winner of Dylan Yeager from the 12th starting spot. Jesse Enterkin will roll off from the 13th position. From there, you'll see the 5:18 of Joseph Grandy and the 32 of Anthony Moreno. 15 cars, 14 laps, top 4 moving on to the prelim feature. Everybody else will see their Spring Fling come to a close. And this is going to be a good one. You got some big names in the back of the pack once again. You got some new names right there in those transfer spots. We're going to see who's going to make their way into the 40-lap finale here in server number 2 after this one.
All right, big question right here. Can Enterkin keep up the soup run? He's come from the D through the C, and it's up to the B here now. Can he get himself into server number 2 main event? That 14 laps to decide it. Turner Knuckles, Braden Carter, your front row. Coming to the green, 14 laps to distance. Here we go.
Knuckles gets on the loud pedal, takes us into turn number 1. Already beating and banging. Carter and English make contact. And they are still beating and banging off each other back there for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. We were 3 wide back through the pack to give lap number 1 to Turner Knuckles.
Yeah, race for the 4th and final transfer. Moves Zach Metzner up to 4th right now. That is Landon Newman on the bottom of the speedway, side by side for position number 4. Here we go, 3 wide for the lead. How about the 92 on the bottom of the racetrack? Braden Carter to the point. He'll try to bring Ryder English with him. There's still 3 wide. How about 4, 5 wide almost for the race lead now?
5 cars for 4 transfer spots. Carter, oh no, big slider there by Landon Newman. He went from 3rd to the lead, bunching everybody up. He'll go back to the top side. Knuckles has the lead heading into turns 3 and 4. Landon Newman with a run on the top side, new leader. 3 laps in, 3 different leaders here in B main action.
Landon Newman very aggressive early on, already up 4 spots to the race lead down the back straightaway. Then it's Turner Knuckles, Braden Carter back to 3rd, trying to hang on to it. Metzner fighting at the bottom of the speedway, holding down the 4th and final spot now.
Man, it is a recipe for disaster back here through the pack. I don't know how they've not wrecked 3 or 4 different times. It's down the back straightaway. Newman's going to have company. Carter with a run on the back, on the top of the racetrack. Knuckles going to go to the bottom, and things starting to ramp up a little bit for the transfer spot. We've got Tyler Bickford. He's on the move. He started back in 10th. He's in that battle. That cluster of cars back through the pack. And here comes Dylan Yeager. He's looking for 6th down the back straightaway.
Yeah, slowly watching the 48 car. Dylan Yeager slowly work his way through the field, tiptoeing around those tractor tires down to the bottom of the speedway. Already up to 7th, looking for more on the bottom of the speedway. Just about halfway home. And look out, it looks like Enterkin making contact with Grandy, and our first caution will come out.
Yeah, that will likely bring it in there to Enterkin's B main run and the soup run, as Enterkin got in there really hot, got through the door of a competitor. I believe that was Ferguson, and then elected Grandy in the process. And I hate to see that, 2 guys that just raced their way in from the previous feature event. They will try to get things fixed back up. But man, what a race it has been, as Landon Newman, aggressive early, but has got him to the top spot. Just 7 laps to go.
Yeah, he was trying to throw the slider through the infield just a moment ago from about 4th on back, and I think he slid about 3 cars to take the race lead. Braden Carter holding down the 2nd spot right now. Zach Metzner in 3rd. Knuckles started on the pole, now finds himself on the bubble with Ryder English on the outside looking in 96.
Wow, we got everybody watching here tonight as you're watching on VLR, and we've got a celebrity watching us, Tommy.
What kind of celebrity we got watching out there?
Well, over at the Celina 52 truck stop, he's watching tonight's VLR action. It's Piss Jug Man.
Oh, that's amazing right there. Piss Jugman in the house with us of Celina 52. Celina 52 doing a lot for the Spring Fling here in 2025. Can't thank those guys enough. Need to get Piss Jugman out to a race one night.
Absolutely. We got to get him on the mic. Does he talk? We're not really sure.
Look at that setup he's got right there. That's a high dollar tech right there.
I believe so. It looks like we're going to go back to green flag action this time, but I hope he's enjoying the racing action just like you and I are up here in the booth, and everybody watching on the VLR Facebook page. It's been a wild B-main so far, and we're just halfway through it as Landon Newman will bring us back to green in turns 3 and 4.
It'll be Newman, Carter, your front row, Metzner, Knuckles, English, Bickford on the outside looking in. Green flag is back out halfway home. 7 down, 7 remaining here in the B-main. The top 4 will move on to the server number 2 main event. Here we go. Race for the lead. Heating up down the back straightaway. Carter to the point down the back.
Braden Carter, a big move there for the top spot. And Dylan Yeager, just as we were talking about him racing his way toward the front, he gets collected in a big mishap back to the pack. And he's going to be watching these guys duke it out for the final transfer spots in the final few laps of this one. Tanner Knuckles is under fire. He's going to lose the 4th position as he gets into the wall. Here comes Tyler Bickford. Here comes the rest of the field. Zachary Meister up to the 3rd spot.
Metzner looking good right now. He'll try to throw it in there for 2nd over the 31 of Newman, and the caution will come out. Caution on the racetrack.
Dustin Glenn will pick up the EOL. We'll see what happened here. You saw Dylan Yeager rolling the bottom of the racetrack. Glenn looks like just kind of come up the speedway and, yeah, stuffed the 419 into the fence, and that brings out the caution flag with just 3 laps to go when we go back green.
So how about a 3-lap shootout for 4 spots? What could go wrong, Wes?
I feel like if you're in anywhere from position 1 through 4, you are holding your breath for the next about minute and a half.
Gonna get interesting, that's for sure. As we're 10 down, so it'll be a 4-lap shootout when we go back green. So not quite to the 3-lap just yet. So going to be very, very interesting. Still got 255 watching on the live stream, and you know we've had to start the live stream once or twice here tonight, so appreciate every one of you sticking with us here this evening. Hit the like button, hit the share button. We're going to go main event racing right after this. Final 4 spots up for grabs. Server number 2 double back up, coming to green. 10 down, 4 remaining here in B main number 2.
They're going to wave the yellow back out. Not sure if the officials were happy with the lineup just yet, so they're going to give them 1 more lap under caution conditions. As of right now, your 4 transfers would be Braden Carter, your leader, Landon Newman, 2nd, Ryder English, and Zachary Metzner. Now, that is very likely to change as Tanner Knuckles sits on the outside looking in with Tyler Bickford, Tyler Clement, Devin Ferguson, Dylan Yeager, Anthony Moreno, all still in the mix with Christopher Bledsoe and Zach Leonardi. The cars left out on the racetrack. 12 cars for 4 positions, 4 laps to settle it. Braden Carter going to bring us back to green.
All right, coming back to the restart once again. Carter on the gas, pulling away down the front straightaway. Newman and Metzner will go side by side into turn number 1. Metzner, he'll throw it up the hill. He'll leave room for the 31 down the back straightaway, though. It'll be Newman back to 2nd on the outside. Metzner hanging on to 3rd. Ryder English hanging on to the 4th and final transfer. 3 to go this time.
Things really starting to heat up back to the pack with your top 4 starting to separate themselves. Tanner Knuckles on the outside looking into the 1 machine. Here comes Tyler Clemens in the mix as well, the 97. Yeager's found new line. Big break back through the pack. Likely going to bring out the caution before we get to the 2 to go signal. No, going to stay green as things winding down here in this B main. Still breathing room for those drivers. Carter under attack for the lead from Newman.
Yeah, going to be a race for the lead. Coming around to the white flag lap. Braden Carter has it. They're 3 wide, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Newman, English up to 3rd. Now Metzner holding down the 4th and final transfer. Working down the back straightaway 1 final time.
Clemens throws the slider on Knuckles. That's just to sell some T-shirts as they're on the outside looking in through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Braden Carter will win B-main action. Landon Newman 2nd, Ryder English 3rd, and Zachary Metzner moving on to tonight's prelim feature event as Tyler Clement, Anthony Moreno, Tanner Knuckles, Tyler Bickford, Zach Leonardi, Christopher Bledsoe, Dylan Yeager, Devin Ferguson, Dustin Glenn, Jesse Interkin, Joseph Grandy round out the lineup there, and their Spring Fling is over, and we are down to 24 cars to grab 12 transfer spots to the 18th annual Spring Fling.
Final 24. Getting ready to grid up here in just a moment. These drivers will have a quick couple of minutes to make their way out onto the speedway, make their final adjustments to get a feel of the track, basically your final hot lap session before 40 laps of main event racing getting ready to come your way here in just a moment. Now, Wes, this track has changed quite a bit throughout the course of the evening, but man, these drivers are still racing all over the place. I'm not sure if you want to be on the bottom or the top here in the main event. Of course, you know, the outside's kind of been, you know, the powerhouse place to be, but that bottom's sneaky fast.
Yeah, we saw Dylan Yeager really making up some ground before he was caught up in a couple incidents there in that B main on the bottom of the speedway. Thing is, Steve just reset a little bit. Now he's going to have him rolling in how he wants to for this feature event. You know, we saw a great race just a few moments ago in that prelim feature. I will never question the track prep abilities of Stephen Calavoda, and I think he's got some things up his sleeve. Some really good cars about to duke it out for just 12 spots and just $250 just to make the show for Wednesday night. So everything on the line here. Everybody else will be heading to the LCQ.
Yeah, everybody in this main event will get to come back and race on Wednesday night. The top 12 will lock themselves into the show, and everybody else is going to be racing in the LCQ, where one driver will have the choice to take either $500 or start tail end of the field in the 100-lap 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. And that's a pretty big decision, Wes, because you have to finish pretty well in that 100-lapper just to make that $500 back.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to think about it, but it's a chance at $7,000. So do you give it up? And we've seen it in mirror racing on multiple occasions, and not many times do they take the money. Now, both of us probably would never find ourselves in a position to even have the choice to make. We're both steering wheel holders at least, but, you know, what would you do, Tommy? If you won the LCQ, you have a chance to race for $7,000, or you could just take $500 instead of the $250 to start if you finish 24th. What are you doing?
I'm a gambler. I'm going to take the starting spot all the way, even though I'm probably going to finish 26. But you know, we'll see what happens. I would definitely take the starting spot though, if that was just me.
I think I will as well, just because, you know, between the B main or the LCQ in this case, and probably what you had to do to get to that top spot, I can just, you know, load into another race car and the team unloads the backup and we're ready to go. So I think I'll take the chance at the 7,000 as well. But a real race car, that's something to think about. That's pretty interesting. Is, you know, you up the ante a little bit money wise, and someone's got to have that on their mind. $500, that can buy a lot of stuff. That could be a pretty good shopping spree at Celina from 2 truck stop.
Now you got to think, some of these drivers, registration was closed almost a month ago. This sold out in less than 4 days, the Spring Fling. So some of these drivers have been practicing day in and day out for the last month. And if that was me, you know, put in all the time and effort to get the setup just correct, I'm not just about to take $500 and just tuck my tail between my legs and walk away. I'm going for it.
It's just something to kind of keep in mind, and I like the added, you know, question there by the great folks over at VLR, and you know, it makes you think a little bit. $500 is quite a bit of money, and some of these folks, they're running on some rigs kind of like mine, our little potato here, that can make a lot of improvements to get you better. Maybe win $8,000 next year if we keep the trend up with VLR. But either way, I mean, $7,000 play iRacing, and you could possibly walk away with that kind of money is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome on Wednesday night to be able to crown another Spring Fling winner and pick up $7,000 just for, you know, hanging out on a Wednesday night and running 100 laps and beating a bunch of good drivers. It's going to be pretty awesome to watch this race unfold on Wednesday. But we got 40 laps to get through here tonight.
That we do, and you know, Calavoda's got them running in the racetrack a little bit, and it's just trying to see. It looks like we're kind of building up the fluff and turn in the top of the racetrack. So, you know, that's going to be a lot of grip. The entry is really slick through the middle in turns 3 and 4, and you know, we saw the bottom be pretty good. I think they're kind of not touching it. They touched it early in the warm-up session, and it's a little bit slick on entry, but I don't know. It looks pretty good right now. I'm watching Lucas Roark, Evan seeing them throw some sliders back through the pack, and everybody's still about the same speed no matter where they're running.
All right, got 260 watching on the live stream. Might want to hit that like button, hit the share button, let everybody know, hey, 40 laps getting ready to happen. Final main event of the evening getting ready to come your way with the Team VLR Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling Prelim night. Here for the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling. Let us know in the chat who you got to win server number 2. Who are you rooting for? Where you're watching from? Let us know in the chat, because we can see it.
And the thing is, I mean, there's no slouches when it comes to an event like this. When we say 120 of the best drivers on iRacing, we made it. And now you're down to just 24 in each of these prelim servers. We have 12 locked in from the first one. We're going to get 12 more here. And there's guys, I'm looking at this starting lineup, and I see, 20, 24 guys that could really win on Wednesday night. And only 12 are even going to be locked in after this one.
Yeah, there's a host of drivers that I could pick to win this event right here in server number 2. I mean, looking through the field, I mean, Logan Rumsey, you know what he's done over the years here at Team VLR. Hayden Tollison, last year's second place finisher. Connor New wants a breakout star at VLR, no longer a breakout star anymore. Dylan Wilson, Kool-Aid man, he's won a bunch of big races here at VLR. Caleb Durgan, he's looked solid all night. Jordan Casey, he's picked up a bunch of wins, called his name in victory lane several times at Team VLR races over the years. Evan Seay, former Spring Fling winner back there. Of course, Hunter Rich picked up the race for the Fling win just a couple of nights ago. Just this stacked field throughout. I think both of these servers' strength of field was right around the 5,500 range, which is pretty incredible when you have 60 drivers all in the same room.
Absolutely. And you got a nice mix of some of the guys that have been with VLR for a very long time, and some of the new names. Dees Price-Top, been on the sim for very long in the 117 machine. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. He's going to be starting in that final transfer spot. Brandon Bolton's been around a long time. JD Brown, but then you got like Clayton Clewell, Landon Newman, kind of new to the game. Ryder English. They're all going to have a chance after racing their way through that B main. Zachary Metzner, as you mentioned, what a story that would be. Longtime competitor with VLR. He's going to be rolling off from shotgun on the field in 24th, but hey, anything can happen in 40 laps, especially here at Charlotte.
Got Peyton White from Northwest Arkansas watching on the live stream. He's picking Hayden Tollison to go to victory lane. Appreciate you, Peyton, tuning in and watching the live stream here this evening, live on the TeamVLR.com Facebook page. Also got to thank Hugo from RaceSpot up here with the production. RaceSpot, and they are the best in the business for a reason. Glad to have them back for another Spring Fling. And man, Hugo's one of the best producers around on iRacing. Look them up, RaceSpotTV. If you ever need a broadcast partner, RaceSpot, and they're the place to go.
Yeah, shout out to Peter there. He does a lot of great races out there, hosting them. Gotten into the actual announcing game. iRacing can really open up a lot of things as well. He hosted races here, and I've had the chance to run a couple of them. Been, not had the best of luck. Never one of them. Never won any of them. But he's now traveling with the American All-Star Crate, or the PPM American All-Star Crate Series, I believe. So that's really cool to see. I think he got to travel over to Indiana and go to a new track over the weekend. It opens some doors. It's one of those things. It's a hobby for me and you to be on this game. We've been announcing for several years, but it's really cool when you get to meet a lot of these guys in person. And it's as much of a hobby as it is, it's a sport that we all love, and this is something that we all can kind of relate with.
Yeah, we all love this. Shout out to Peter out there watching. Like you said, it opened up the doors for a lot of people. It's opened the doors for me. I mean, iRacing, this is how I got started announcing, and here I am 8-9 years later, going up and down the road with the Hunts Front Super Nerd Series at Riverside International Speedway just about every weekend. Man, it's been a lot of fun, and glad to be back up here in the booth with you, Wes. Man, we need to call a real race together pretty soon. That needs to happen.
Absolutely, as Mother Nature needs to let us, but it's time to go through that starting lineup. The field is taking to the front straightaway, 24 cars, 40 laps, and how are they going to look, Tommy?
All right, starting on the front row pole on the inside, the 41 car. That'll be a flying carrot, Logan Rumsey. To the outside, the 101, it's Brent Evans.
Last year's runner-up, the 327 of Hayden Tollison, will make up row number 2. To his outside, Connor New in the 10 machine, in row position number 4.
Number 3 on the inside in the 80 machine. That'll be the Kool-Aid man, Dylan Wilson. To the outside, in number 17, it's Caleb Durgan.
We head now to row number 4 on the inside. That's Jordan Casey in the 42 machine with Stephen Gaines in the 07 to his outside.
Row number 5 on the inside, in number 5, it's Lucas Rourke. To the outside, in number 33, former Spring Fling winner, it's Evan Seay.
Your winner of the race to Fling, Hunter Ridge, will make up inside row number 6 in the 33 machine to his outside. The modified driver from Alabama, it's Dees Price in the 117.
Moving up to the inside of row number 7 in car number 2, it's Brady Cornett to the outside. In the 24, it's Brandon Bolton.
Row number 8 will be the California wheelman of J.D. Brown to the inside of the 14 machine.
Rumsey maintaining the point down the in turn number 2 right now. They're 3 wide momentarily. New up to second. And now here comes Hayden Tollison on the bottom of the speedway, getting a full head of steam around the 101 car. Side by side for third. Working down the front straightaway.
Watching the battle for the final transfer spot, really starting to heat up there. Side by side, 3 wide back to the pack. As Evan C. really the cutoff right now, back there in 10th. From there, you got the 33 of Hunter Ridgeback 11. D's Price right now, the cutoff man in the 117, and 12th Cornett and Bolton with J.D. Brown and Mario Perez on the outside looking in.
Logan Rumsey showing the way. Connor New still back in second. They're side by side for third. Evans on the outside. Tallison on the inside. Wilson maintaining the top 5. And it's Durgan, Gaines, Rourke, Casey C, the top 10. Hunter Rich in 11th. They're 3 wide for the 12th and final transfer. That is D's Price on the outside going around Cornett and J.D. Brown, who sits back in 14th. 2 spots out now.
2 distinct groups of racing right now, kind of the cutoff, the top 10 out front, duking it out. Connor New has made the bottom mark. He's pulled to the back bumper of Logan Rumsey for the lead. Big move there by Caleb Durgan to cost him 2 spots as Dylan Wilson splits the difference with the 327 of Hayden Tollison. D's Price, the 12th and final transfer spot, at least for the time being. Here comes the 42 of Jordan Casey. He's trying to get the heck out of Dodge.
Still rolling around the speedway. Rumsey and New nose to tail 1 and 2. And New will take a peek to the inside of the turn number 4. Can't quite get the steam to make the run. He'll go into turn number 1 and 2, looking for the lead. They'll come out side by side. Rumsey down the back straightaway still has it.
Logan Rumsey holding on for dear life right now out front of this prelim number 2 feature. Back to the pack. Evans see a big slider, finds the door of Dylan Wilson. Somehow everybody able to continue on. Stephen Gaines gonna gain a couple spots. Big slider inbound from him. Gets into the door of Tollison, and Stephen Gaines gonna be broke in the 07 machine. We'll bring out our first caution of prelim number 2 feature.
We got movers and shakers all over the field, and Gaines will fall towards the tail end of the field. And that 07 car is our first caution. Comes out on the speedway. Gaines to the infield in the pits now.
Yeah, just a big hit there. Gaines throwing it in really deep at the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Nearly grabbed the Uke tire and instead found the door of the 327 of Hayden Tollison. Brings out the caution flag. Gaines was running, I believe, in the 6th position that last time by. So that's going to be terrible for the 07 machine as he gets the EOL and heads to the back of the pack. Looking at some early hard chargers. No one really making a ton of gains. Lucas Ruark up 4 spots from 9th to 5th so far.
Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in on the live stream right now. Got Flow Racing even tuned in watching the server number 2 main event. So appreciate each and every one of you tuning in right now watching server number 2. Get ready to come back to life here in just a few moments.
Yeah, but a good prelim feature so far. 9 laps complete, still 31 laps to go. And we talked a little bit about it during the last feature. If you're just joining us at this broadcast, you got to think about tire wear. You got to think about the air pressures in your car. Taking a little bit to come up to heat temp that you want them to be able to move around the racetrack. Do you go early? Do you wait it out? Do you try to get out of the 12th transfer spot? You want to be as forward as you can, but you got to be in the right place at the right time if something happens. You don't want to be collected in someone else's mess. We're going to find out here in just a few moments. So right now, Logan Rumsey leads Connor New, And it's Brett Evans, Hayden Tollison, Lucas Rourke, top 5. Dylan Wilson back there in 6th. Durgan in 7th. Casey, Rich, and Evans C complete your top 10.
Appreciate each and every one of you being patient with the streams here tonight, having some issues on the Facebook side. Nonetheless, green flag is back out, coming back to green. 9 down, 31 remaining. Server number 2, top 12, looking to punch their ticket into the $7,000 to win main event on Wednesday night. Logan Rumsey going to pace him down the back straightaway once again.
We saw Rumsey and New really running the bottom of the racetrack in that first little stint of green flag action. Rumsey went at the top side on the restart. He's able to separate himself from New just a little bit. New not let him get away, though, as Evans now goes to the bottom of the inside of Hayden Tollison. Tollison, he had a rough start to this one. He's got his feet back under him. He sets his sights on Connor New. Dylan Wilson dukes down to the inside of Evans for the 4th position. Nearly going to go through wide. Here comes Evans C on the bottom.
Good racing right now. 4 around 4th, 5th, and 6th. 3 wide right there. Evans on the outside. Wilson and Rourke. Durgan and Rich, 8th and 9th. And it's Evans C sitting inside the top 10. J.D. Brown and Dees Price in the 117, holding down that 12th and final transfer at the moment, trying to punch his ticket in the show.
Dees has been holding on to that 12th spot for pretty much the first 13 laps of this one. You don't want to put yourself in the danger zone, and he has been living there and making it work so far in that 117 machine for the Alabama driver. Right there in front of him, got 2 of the best to ever do it here on iRacing. In the 14 of J.D. Brown, Evan C back there in 10th, Jordan Casey 9th, Caleb Durgan in 8th, Hunter Rich, your winner of the race to Fling, back there in 7th, Rourke just outside of the top 5.
And Cornette not letting Brown and them out of their sights just yet, and Price as well. Cornette hanging back there in position, in car number 2 in position number 13, pulls to the left rear quarter panel for a moment. Now here comes the 24, Brandon Bolton. You know, he's not afraid to throw it in there. Move Bolton up to 13th, now 1 spot out.
The Walton, Kentucky driver on the outside looking in. Slider inbound from Cornette. Bolton bounces it off the fence. They continue down the back straightaway. Gives Price just a little bit of breathing room. We've seen everybody pretty well make their way to the top side of 1 and 2, 3 and 4. A couple of different lines. A little slider through the middle up at the top on exit. Right now, you're really starting to see the lanes change quite a bit as Evan C takes a look at the inside of Caleb Durgan. That's a battle for 9th.
We got a race for the lead heating up as well. Connor New going to throw the slider. Hayden Tollison right there as well. 1, 2, and 3 all in the front straightaway, throwing haymakers, and our caution comes out in the speedway.
Looks like Keith Hagney and Ryder English getting together. The Kentucky and Georgia drivers bringing out the caution flag here in prelim server number 2 with 18 laps in the books, just short of halfway. And that's going to change things a little bit. Racetrack, iRacing is very good about changing the preferred line under caution conditions. Plus, you got to think about your tires and cooling them down a little bit. If you're making those moves early, what do you have left for the last 20 laps of this one?
All right, looking to see off the front. Connor New had just made the pass for the lead. Looks like he's going to be scored as the race leader now. So that'll put Rumsey on the outside on this restart. Tollison back there in 3rd. Brett Evans, still Dylan Wilson, the top 5. Lucas Rourke in 6th, and it's Hunter Rich in 7th. Jordan Casey, Caleb Durgan, Evan C, the top 10. J.D. Brown, 11th, and Dees Price still hanging on to the 12th and final transfer, but we're going to bunch him back up. And we're going to throw all that out the window and try it again. It'll be 18 down, 22 remaining. Server number 2, final 12 spots up for grabs. This will make up the outside rows of Wednesday night's 100 lap, $7,000 to win. 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling main event. Who is going to lead the field to the green on the outside?
I'm just taking a look at some of the drivers that are in this prelim server that made their way into the Spring Fling 1 season ago. Of course, Hayden Tollison came home 2nd. We saw Dylan Yeager not going to make the LCQ as he unable to transfer from the B main. Matthew Selby and Dylan Wilson both in this prelim server, as well as Luke Brewer home 10th. Selby and Wilson came home 6th and 7th. Final rundown, Hunter Rich 13th. There's going to be several drivers. Caleb Durgan as well was able to transfer in. Evan C ran 20th last year. Going to be some new names in the starting lineup either way as we come back to green.
Green flag is back out. We are back underway. 19 down. 21 remaining. Connor New going to take the race leader. He taps the wall a little bit. Rumsey back to the point down the back straightaway. New going to try to hang on to 2nd now. Here comes Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah. Up to 4th now, looking for more.
Dylan Wilson behind his time with the first half of this one as we reach the halfway point. We are now on lap number 20. It's down the back straightaway. Rumsey has the edge over Connor New. Little follow the leader action for the top three. New takes a peek at the inside of Rumsey. Does he feed him a door? No. New going to leave him a lane. Rumsey going to rock it around the top side. Tollison now has a chance to see through the slider. No, he follows the top three into the top line in 1 and 2.
Rumsey still pacing him down the back straightaway. It's New, Tollison, Evans, Wilson. Lucas Rourke up 3 spots to 6th. Jordan Casey sitting 7th. Hunter Rich up 3 spots to 8th. Durgan and Seay now make up the top 10. Stephen Gaines, who had problems on the opening lap, has found his way back into a transfer spot in 11th. So what a recovery for the 07 machine.
J.D. Brown, he had faded there in about the last 10 laps before that restart. Dees Price, who'd been sitting in 12th for the first 19 laps of this one, now be on the outside looking in. He goes side by side with J.D. Brown. Big slider inbound from the Alabama driver. California, Alabama, oh my, down the back straightaway.
And Brown will cross it back down the hill. This is the race for the transfer right now. Brown, he'll slide back in front of Price down the front straightaway. Coming around 23 down, 17 remaining. And they're throwing haymakers for the 12th and final transfer spot. Brown back to the bubble now.
Top three still duking it out for the lead. Another big slider inbound from Connor New and Logan Rumsey. New going to bounce it off the fence. Rumsey crosses him over. Brings Tollison around there with him. Now Brent Evans looking to join the mix. Rumsey a slider inbound on Connor New in 3 and 4. New's ready for it. He's going to roll out of the throttle, turn down the hill. Rumsey still your leader with 25 looks 15 to go. New another big slider in 1 and 2.
Awesome job by your production team to have it double boxed at the race up front with Rumsey and New throwing slider after slider, and the race for the transfer as well. Hard to take your eyes off either one of these drivers right now as Rumsey back to the point. Here comes Tollison for the lead.
Hayden Tollison was watching these two guys duke it out. He said, anything you can do, I can do better. He throws a 2-for-1 slider. Rumsey cross him over. New's now going to throw a slider on Rumsey on the crossover move. And New leader on lap number 27. It's Connor New as Rumsey and Tollison bang towards into 1.
Oh, are you kidding me, Wes? It is shaping up to be a barn burner. Last couple of laps taking down New back to the point down the back straightaway. And here comes Tollison, the 327, the Mississippi driver. He'll slide his way to second. Rumsey will cross him back down the front straightaway, 11 to go.
Need a little PSG, please stay green, because enter the chat. Here comes Brent Evans in the mix. Connor New going to throw the slider, Tollison as well. Rumsey going to slide back to third. Going to try to cross them both over out of turn number 4. Connor New still showing the way. Just 10 laps to go in prelim server number 2.
Oh, what a race we have here at the front as back towards the transfer. J.D. Brown has kind of separated himself from Dees Price in the 117. But meanwhile, race for the lead, not going anywhere. New back to the point. Tollison to second. He'll look for the lead out of turn number 1 and 2. Doesn't quite have the stick-em out of turn number 2. And here comes Rumsey. He'll throw it in there for second. And he will make it happen. Rumsey back to second. That got a little dicey.
Rumsey right on the nose of Tollison. Brent Evans going to roll way out of the throttle, try to hit the bottom of the racetrack, go where these guys ain't. It's going to cost him. He'll slide back into 4th. They are 3 wide back there behind him as well for the 5th position. That's Hunter Rich, Lucas Rourke, and Dylan Wilson. My, oh my, haymakers for all these guys. You would be in the show, but the caution going to fly. Oh my, we're going to stack them back up. Let's do this one again. We're 7 laps to decide it.
Wow, what kind of racing do we have right now? Absolutely unbelievable. Tough break right there for Matthew Selby, who took a hard shot from the 2 of Brady Cornett late in the race. So Selby gonna have a lot of damage on that machine. Looks like his night will come to an end.
Hey, you hate to see that for Matthew Selby. As we mentioned, Selby qualified for this feature event 1 year ago, coming home in the 6th position. So he will have to head to the LCQ on Wednesday night and gonna have to drive pretty good ways through the field as Cornett will receive the EOL, and we're going to give new life to Dees Price. He was starting to see the 14 of J.D. Brown pull away for the final transfer spot. Price will be on the outside looking in on the restart, but anything can happen. You got to turn up the tempo. You got to protect if you're in the top 12. You got to throw everything but the kitchen sink at them if you're outside.
It's going to be 7 laps to go on the restart. Final 12 spots up for grabs. Everybody else going to have to come from the last chance qualifier on Wednesday night, where there will only be 1 spot up for grabs in that one. So you want to try to get the job done right here, right now. More chances, better opportunity. As New and Rumsey going to lead the field back to the green. Do believe pace truck is in, getting ready to come back. Nope, it is not in. We'll pace him around one more time.
do want to look at where everybody started in this one. Your top 12 pretty well started in the top 12 as biggest mover so far. Hunter Rich up 11 to 6, so he's up 5 positions. Rourke from 9th to 5th. That's 4 spots for him. And then Stephen Gaines. Now it may not only show that Gaines started 10th and is running in 9th. Or excuse me, he started in 8th, runs in 10th. But Stephen Gaines went to the back of the pack in the early stages of this one, caught up in an early race wreck, and he has raced his way back to a transfer spot. So hats off to the 07 machine and Stephen Gaines.
Yeah, Gaines, he was the caution on lap number 1. There were still 24 cars on the speedway, so he had to go to the tail end of the field, drive his way back, now sitting in a good spot inside the top 10 as the green flag is back out for Connor New, leading the field back into turn number 1 and 2. 7 more trips around here at the dirt track at Charlotte, and server number 2. Can New hang on?
Down the back straightaway, 2 turns, 3 and 4. Connor New going to drift to the racetrack. Rumsey right there with him, but New's going to have the grip to pull away. Tollison runs third behind him. It is a hornet's nest of drivers with 5 laps to go. Hunter Rich going to look to the inside of the 2 machine down the back straightaway for 4th. The 5 of Lucas Rourke, who is up top. And we got some moving and shaking going on for the final transfer spot. Things are getting dicey back there for 12.
Yeah, J.D. Brown, Jordan Casey, Caleb Durgan, Grady Ehrman, Dees Price, all back there throwing down for the 12th and final transfer. Casey in the 49 car, holding on to 12th at the moment. Now Ehrman trying to wake his way, and now J.D. Brown 3 wide, banging on the outside. That is for the 12th and final transfer spot.
Grady Ehrman turning up the wick when he needed it the most. He just drove his way back to the 12th spot, at least for the time being. He rolls to the inside of Jordan Casey. A little bit of contact there. That's Heitzner to his inside. They are beating and banging back through the pack. Battle for the lead. Tollison and Rumsey make contact. Connor New going to go from 3rd to 1st down the back stretch.
Yeah, Rumsey threw it down to the bottom of the speedway, almost to the infield to throw that slider. New crossed him down the hill. Rourke up to 2nd now, trying to bring Hunter Rich with him. And here comes the 80 of Dylan Wilson as we got a couple of cars falling back. Tollison has fell back to 9th. As we come around, the white flag will be out this time. One more trip around for Connor New. Wes, take us home.
We're watching the battle for the win. We're watching the battle for the final transfer spot down the back straightaway. Connor New going to get a little bit of breathing room as Rourke gets into the fence. Through turns 3 and 4, he'll run the sliding line. Connor New will win prelim server at number 2. Lucas Rourke coming home 2nd. Battle for 3rd. That'll go to Dylan Wilson. No, Logan Rumsey gets at the line. Wilson 4th. Hunter Rich 5th. Stephen Gaines up to 6th. Evan 7th. Durgan 8th. Tollison holds on for 9th. Casey 10th. Meitzner up to 11th from dead last on the field. And Evan C., the 12th and final transfer for prelim server number 2.
But give a big shout out to Zachary Metzner right there, former Dirt Track Racing 2 colleague back in the day. He restarted that last restart in 17th and drove his way to 11th. So he went from 24th to 11th to get himself in the show, but had to pass at least 6 drivers on that final restart for Zachary Metzner to get himself up to 11th. Unbelievable drive by him. Great job to get himself into the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling, where he'll race for $7,000. Congratulations, Connor New, picking up the win. Lucas Rourke, Logan Rumsey. What a show we had towards the front as well, Wes. Man, we had action everywhere.
You know, it was a worry there at the beginning. It looked like everything was going to go to the top side, but the racetrack changed during those cautions. People started coming and going, and things got crazy up front and in the battle for the final transfer spots. We got 12 locked in from this. A lot of really good cars going to be heading to the LCQ as we get our top drivers here. We're going to interview our top 3 here momentarily.
All right, looking for our winner to make his way up into the booth for just a moment. Connor New. And we're going to bring him down right now. Your winner here tonight in the 18th annual Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling, server number 2, Connor New. Man, Connor, man, you had to work for that one. All the way throughout the race, man, you guys traded sliders, you and Logan Rumsey, Hayden Tollison, and then right there at the end, Lucas Rourke as well. Man, you had your hands full out there, buddy.
Yeah, man, I just can't say thank you enough to Matjoulis Speed Shop for giving me just a bad to the bone race car every time I hit the track here. But yeah, what a race. Charlotte's always been pretty good. And yeah, we've been really good all week, and I was kind of second guessing myself on setup choice, and yeah, we just went with what we knew, and it paid off.
You know, a couple of years ago, you raced a modified series here with Team VLR, and you picked up your first couple of big win ever. You just won prelim server number 2 for the Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling, and you're going to lead the field to the outside pole on Wednesday night with a chance at $7,000. What's the mindset like?
Gotta stay locked in and just grind the next day and all day Wednesday and just get dialed in like we have been. Matjoulis Speed Shop, there's a bunch of great guys over there, and they provide us with great setups. We have super good speed every time we hit the track, like I said, and just grinding, get our 100 lap set dialed in and go in 7 bands.
Wes, what you got for our winner?
Hey, Connor, what a heck of a race there, man. I got to mention this. When you're running these big events, you're running with a lot of the same guys and duking it out for the win here. How much faith do you have to put in the other drivers? I mean, you threw some sliders there with Rumsey and Tollison and even there Lucas Ruark at the end. How much faith do you have to put in those guys that they're going to race you clean and y'all are going to be having a chance at the $7,000 on Wednesday?
So, I'm just hoping everybody's mindset's right. When I show up at the racetrack, obviously I want to win, and we threw some risky stuff, I'm not gonna lie, but everybody raced clean. I mean, we barely made any contact. If it was, we barely touched, and just hope everybody's in the right mindset, just realizing we're all on the show, but we're still gonna race hard and race clean.
And then, of course, with the tire wear that we have now in iRacing and how much this track especially just changed in 40 laps, what do you expect for 100 laps of action on Wednesday? Do you want to set the pace out front early? We talked to Desmond, and he wants to set a little bit of a pace, doesn't want to fall too far back. Is that kind of your mindset as well?
I just don't think it's worth losing the track position. I think the track's going to be really good, and you're going to be able to race all over it, but, track position is important, especially when tires wear out. You just kind of want to stay in the momentum line, and hopefully we can set a pretty good pace early, but still be good late in the race.
Well, Connor, congratulations to you. You just won a prelim feature event. You are now going to be rolling off from the outside pole on Wednesday night. Go get some testing in. We'll see you again here in a couple days.
I just got to say a big thanks to Celina 52 Truck Stop for coming on board for the Fling this year. They've really stepped up and got me dialed. Matjoulis Speed Shop, Team 10 Motorsports. Go follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Aces and Eights Customs for this beautiful wrap. Sweet Victory Apparel. Danny Williams for helping me out on the sticks tonight and everything he does for our Royal program. And also Desmond Busby. Congratulations on his win in Prelim 1. And he was also helping me out on the sticks there. And thank you guys for broadcasting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's your winner of server number 2, Connor New. We're going to bring down your second place driver now. Had a great charge here tonight, 9th to 2nd. Going to line up 4th on Wednesday night's 100-lap main event, Lucas Ruark. Man, great drive by you. Made a late race charge there. May have had a shot at the win, but you'll take home 2nd here tonight. Not too shabby and set you up good for Wednesday night.
Yeah, I was really good there. I just feel like you just need to start up front farther, starting 9th there kind of put me too far back, I feel like, but that was on me for qualifying, ran the wrong line, but hopefully we'll be good for the 100-lapper and get the win.
I'll tell you what, you really made up a lot of ground on that last restart. How did the track change, and how were you able to find advantages to take advantage of where you were and pick up 2nd?
Really just like going in the one there, I knew I had to run like lane off top and try and pinch someone off and kind of get back up. And then 3 and 4, I was just running that really deep slider. And then once I got cleared back up there and Connor and Tolson and Rumsey started hitting each other, I just ran a big cut down and got under Tolson there and got to 2nd. Probably could have had a shot for the win there, but I got on the wall, but we'll take 2nd.
Wes, what you got for a runner-up?
Hey, so congratulations there, Lucas, on a great run. But I want to mention something that leads up to this, and not actually including this race, but for those that are watching and don't really know what goes into all the things on iRacing, how much testing, what is this last couple weeks or last month or so look like for you to get ready for this event?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of hours. I haven't really been playing too much till the last probably 3 weeks, but we've been up 3-4 o'clock in the morning every single night, me and Ethan and JC and everybody testing and running laps and just trying to get the setups dialed in. You just can't be off at all with the setups. Like, everybody's so good now, it's just you have to be perfect.
And with with the tire model that we got a couple seasons ago, and then how much they've changed the racing surface as well, putting the holes in there and the changing of the cushion. How much has things changed since when you first got on the sim to where we are now?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different. You can't really just go wide open the whole race most of the time. Like tonight, you can kind of go most of the race, but you still have to kind of be careful, and you don't want to race people too hard at the start and burn your stuff up too early. So you definitely have to kind of have a game plan going into it, I'd say, and especially like if you start past fourth or back, you really have to be kind of careful about how early you go and how much you race people and stuff like that.
And I know you got a lot of people to help you out, so let's talk about all the great sponsors you got.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ethan Johnson Racing, Free Speed, Jordan Casey, and everybody over there. Cocky Floyd Consulting, Dirty South Speed Shop, Chris Hill, Rachel's Motorsports, just everybody that helps with the setups. Hunter Rich, he had a good run too, and Brady Thompson, just everybody that helps.
Well, congratulations, man. We'll see you again on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Lucas Rourke, your second place finisher. We'll bring down our third place driver here tonight. Led quite a bit of laps. Found himself in a battle pretty much the entire race. Logan Rumsey. And Logan, you led a few laps here tonight. You ultimately finished third. You're going to line up on the outside of row number 3 in the 100-lap main event on Wednesday night, going for $7,000. Talk us through your night, and could you have done anything different to possibly pick up that win?
Yeah, I could have just blocked the line in 3 and 4 a little bit better, but I don't think that was the fastest way around. So it was kind of hard to, if you want to block the slider and be a little bit slower, just run the fast line. But I guess Connor just threw it in there that one lap, and it kind of snookered me there. I wasn't really expecting it. So I feel like we had a pretty good car. It was a pretty badass race between me, Connor, and Hayden. Sucks Hayden kind of got used up there at the end, but all in all, like starting 6 is right where you want to be. I was trying to let her hang out, try to win the prelim, but it is what it is. We had a really good car, and we'll be back Wednesday.
Logan, now I know there's a lot of preparation that goes into this main event. Talk us through your last month, and you spend a lot of time with this particular race and setup just to try to be the best you possibly can.
Well, they VLR now, they kind of put the race up. Seems like they don't really tell us much about it until the week of, so we kind of started testing Thursday night, so we don't have many laps, but yeah, we definitely a lot of late nights, and kind of nerding out here a little bit the last couple of days, just trying to get everything dialed in. The car still wasn't perfect, but it is what it is. You never know what track Steve's gonna throw at you, so just try to get the car good that can go anywhere on the racetrack for Wednesday.
Wes, what you got for our third place driver?
Logan, congrats on a great run there. I know there for a little bit, you're out front, you're kind of a sitting duck, kind of having to figure out where everybody else is going. But how important is it to be rolling off from the front of the field rather than in the the middle of the mess that is the middle of the pack, as you'll be able to kind of set pace. You won't be leading us to green, but you're going to be right there at the front at the beginning.
It's really good. You can always. It's never a terrible race. It might be a little one lane sometimes. Like that feature was a little bit one lane on the top, but I mean you could still pass. So the 100 lapper, it just you don't really want to be ripping the top the whole time like we were there, because it's gonna burn your tires up. So it's gonna be a lot of strategy, and you'll probably see the middle bottom be the place to be for a lot of the race.
And then I know you got a lot of great people to help you out. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, I just got to thank everyone at Alpha Industries, Chase Barbara, he was spotting me, trying to hype me up, saying we didn't come here to run second, so we were trying to do everything we could to win. You know, he was spotting me, telling me what to do. So I mean, it almost worked there. Just kind of got you know, that's just how it goes. We kind of got ran into the fence, but I ran the other guy into the fence, so I kind of deserved it. So you know, and then Caleb Durgan, he's been testing with me the last couple of days, just making sure we have everything pretty dialed in, and we both he qualified quick time, so it was pretty good.
Well, congrats there, Logan. We'll see you again on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's your third place driver, Logan Rumsey. And I got one more driver going to bring down here, your hard charger of server number 2, fellow Dirt Track Racing 2 driver, transferring over or making his way over to the iRacing ranks and then coming from 24th to 11th in server number 2 to transfer into the $7,000 to win main event on Wednesday night. Zachary Metzner. Zach, man, you started, what, 16th or 17th on that last restart, and you're in the show now. Tell us how that happened.
Oh, my God. I don't know. Like, I just, you know, my setup was basically just built for running the middle bottom, so the entire race, the plan was just to, you know, shoot the middle and stay there as much as possible, and I knew that late race caution was going to set up to be some interesting shenanigans going on, and thankfully I was able to stay out of them and just stay low. And I don't know, man. I tell you, my heart was racing for that. Like, I'm happy, but I'm also like relieved at the same time.
Well, you just beat about 100 other badasses that did not transfer into Wednesday night's 100-lap main event. You are in the show. You're about to race for $7,000 or a chance at $7,000. Is this your first Spring Fling on iRacing?
It is my first Spring Fling on iRacing, yeah.
That is, as I knew you did quite a few of them when we were on DTR too, but I thought this may have been your first one. Man, how does this stack up to the rest of your Spring Flings?
I mean, don't get me wrong, like the Spring Flings on DTR2 were a lot of fun just because of, you know, it's almost nostalgic, but making the show on this one, I feel like it's just a way more of an accomplishment because there's so much more talent. There's so much more to win here versus, you know, 10 years ago. But either way, it's awesome. Like I'm ecstatic to be able to, you know, make the show and see what I can do tomorrow.
You set yourself up in a great position. You know, what's the mindset and what's the practice going to be like for the next 2 days?
It's a great question. It's got to work with. I know my teammate Hayden made it, so I'll probably work with him and our team owner Brandon to figure out, you know, what the plan is. But I know tomorrow's probably gonna be a good test and tune day, and then we'll go from there. I mean, I'm gonna be starting basically almost in the same spot I was starting tonight on Wednesday, so we'll see what I can do there.
Wes, what you got for a hard charger?
Man, what a race. And it's so cool to hear the how ecstatic you are to be making the field here. I know it's very tough in any of these events, let alone even get out of like a B main to make the qualifying feature and then to race your way in. So congrats on that. But I got to ask now, since you've already made the show, you're $250 richer, at least in that node. Is it going to be time to just, you know, full send it, try to get to the lead and make some fans?
That would be the goal. I honestly, my goal is to just finish the race because I know there's probably going to be, you know, shenanigans in a 100-lap race where cars get knocked out. But my first goal is to finish the race. But if we can get up there and get battling like we were tonight, then who knows? We'll see. I wouldn't mind adding some more money to the payday, but we'll just have to see.
And I know you got a lot of great people that help you out. Let's talk about those sponsors there and all your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, thank you to Midwest Sim Sports. Joined them earlier this year. They've been a significant help with just becoming better at this game. Brandon Schatz has been beneficial, very beneficial, and so is my teammate Hayden Towson. Both of them have helped with setups a lot. Have helped me, you know, learn to be patient, not just smash the gas all the time. Matjoulis Seay for all of the setups. KRE, UV Blue Crew. Jimmy, I'm going to shout out Jimmy Johnson. It's on my car. I've always ran Jimmy Johns. So, and yeah, I don't think I have anything else, but yeah.
Well, man, that is awesome. And congrats. Go do some testing, but first, you know, let it soak in a little bit, and we'll see you again on Wednesday night for 7K.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Thank you. Good job tonight on the broadcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Zachary Metzner, your 11th place finisher and hard charger of server number 2. We'll let him get back to practice a little bit more. Man, Wes, what a night number 1 we had, man. We had action all over the racetrack. And what a night.
Man, it was a great race. I mean, we had battles for the lead. Of course, we knew the transfer spot's always going to be something crazy, and we know the shenanigans that are going to happen throughout the pack. But, man, I think that just tops it off right there talking to Zach. And I know it means a lot to you because you've known him for a long time. But I've raced with him a handful of times, but you can just hear the elation in his voice and how excited he is and kind of the disbelief that it just even happened. So, I mean, that's what this is all about. I mean, we always talk about the storyline for top guys. Someone is going to win $7,000 on Wednesday, which is insane to think about. You just had a guy who has been grinding on this game and on other games at this point in Spring Flings for years, and he just made the starting lineup, his first ever Spring Fling starting lineup on Wednesday night. That's what it's all about. And now we are down to the final few. We got the LCQ, and then we got the 100 lap 7,000 win 18th annual Spring Fling. It was a great night, but now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty.
Well, race fans, want to appreciate each and every one of you tuning in here tonight. I want to thank Hugo and RaceSpotTV for the fantastic broadcast production here tonight. Had a few hiccups, but that's the way it goes sometimes on these prelim nights. We'll get the bugs worked out. We'll come back bigger, badder, stronger, and better than ever on Wednesday night. Server time's going to kick off 7:50 Eastern. The last chance qualifier going to open up 50 laps. The winner going to have the choice of $500 of the 25th starting spot of the $7,000 to win 100 lap Schaeffer's Oil Spring Fling main event, which will get started right around 9 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. You can catch it all live right there on the TeamVLR.com Facebook page, or you can watch it on YouTube via RaceSpotTV. Until then, my name is Tommy Rowe up here with Wes Gwaltney saying good night, and we'll see you on Wednesday.